Hello everyone and welcome back to the final quarterfinal of this evening. It has been a pretty long day so far, but the evening is going to be cleaned up with a classic Singapore versus Malaysia match. It is going to be B.O.O.T Dreamscape up against Frostfire. And both sides going to be looking to make their way into the semi-finals, and this is not a good start for Tommy. He's already going to get that big dink. Big unit, big dink.
Big unit and a big dink. Tommy, poor soul. Dropped down to 7 HP to start things off. The only trade out is a man on 86 HP. So he's dropped 14, but that doesn't really make a difference. So slower round to start things off on Nuke. Looks as though they're going to explode out on towards the A-bomb side as they push on in. It's Devi who is the only person that can find a kill. My word, Impressions put in work, but Devi eventually finds a second, so could still salvage something from this round. He's got a lot of work to do, but dinks another, and oh my word. Nearly started to work. We've actually got a tech pause.
Oh, come on. Impression just being an absolute sook. Pushing in. He's like tech. It's like, oh, my PC's not working properly. Wow, my name is Impression.
I guess that's a pretty accurate assumption as to how he'd be feeling right now.
Nah. It looks like it's a TeamSpeak issue, so fair enough.
There's been a couple of those. Had a couple yesterday, a couple today.
Yeah,
that's right.
Look.
What can you do, mate?
I don't know, call a tech pause very early on and resolve the issues. Hopefully there's no word.exes found on either side.
Sure there won't be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to really see an essay at this stage, so okay, no essays, just a paragraph of .rs, and we are straight back into it. So, I mean, Frostfire, they don't manage to get the bomb plant down, but at least Devi actually doing a little bit of early damage, and Devi is really that hard hitter that you want to see for Frostfire at the end of the day. Still, this matchup is heavily favoured for B.O.O.T Dreamscape. They're that team that's just seems to be the best inside SEA, especially at that LAN region. But Frostfire, they've got the firepower as well as that individual capacity to really start taking games away. And you can see Devi is running off to a pretty solid start in this round. Once again, early damage being done. Damage doesn't win you the game. As you saw, Tommy, he was on 7 HP. He's still got 2 headshots and kept it very, very neat for B.O.O.T Dreamscape until Devi decided to chip in with a little bit of damage.
Yeah, chimes in with a tap of his own. So Splashkey needs to be careful. I would almost be thinking about dropping that M4 if I was Splashkey right now. Again, he is one of these players that he can do a lot of damage. So there's every chance that, you know, if he holds onto it, he might be able to make something work just like that. But no, Devi will shut him down with a really nice shot on the scout. Brings it back to 4 apiece. Moxie, you can see, is just getting a little bit more aggressive in towards Secret. Finds one and backs away for now. Bulbasaur, however, finds some timing, some neat timing at that to just catch out the side of Subby. However, I don't believe he spotted out Archap. So for now, it's just going to be a bit of a slow hold towards outers for Frostfire, and there's not too much to be done. Oh, okay. Not so slow.
I mean, for Frostfire, they have to be trying to make contact plays, but unfortunately in that outers position, it's just really difficult. You can see the CTs can just pick and roll. That is a huge shot coming in from Devi, who's just been absolutely on point so far. That's actually the underside pretty much taken for now. Bulbasaur still in a position where he can do a little bit more damage. Out comes Tommy into the vent position to try to push off Archap, but out comes Devi. He's got the MP9. He's been doing consistent damage so far. 6 kills already in 2 rounds. He's really been fragging up a storm.
Well, he's the only player with kills on his team. That's,
pretty much.
That's pretty much the way to start. So possibly there could be a lot of work done here for Devi. But Frostfire will all have to be firing on their cylinders, as B.O.O.T are coming into this, of course, as favourites. So there's going to be quite a bit of contention from Frostfire. We need to see that early on. Devi starting off the right way. And again, my word, this man is hitting shots. He is lighting up the server right now, but unfortunately the rest of his team are just a little bit quiet to start with. But it is only the 3rd round.
It is a promising sign, though, for Devi to be actually able to get so many of these kills. He is going to be on that AWP eventually, and that AWP matchup against Splashkey, if Devi is in this form and Splashkey is able to hit peak form as well, it's going to be pretty explosive. We've been seeing a lot of these teams recently in terms of the EPL, so Not as if we don't have a lot of unknowns coming to this matchup personally, and now they're also going to try and take this heaven control. Moxie is just going to try to make sure he chips away at them. He's also giving out the information as well for Impression just to be gunning them down, but Tavai needs to be in a bit more of a forward position. He's really been the hard hitter. He can't be just waiting around trying to chip away in the sideline. He's really just got to be the point man. He's been able to open up, as he said earlier. Look at that. Tavai's the only one that's got kills so far for Frostfire. They've got the rifles out now, but it's still not the best in terms of all the utility and everything that they need.
No, you expect by the fourth round, especially for T-side, for it to be a little bit better.
I actually just realized they're still, I think, playing on the old economy patch. I don't know if this is... I just realized now. I think I realized it before, but I didn't really mention it because I was like, oh, I don't know why teams are still force buying. And out straight through the smoke. A bit of a faster play coming out from Frostfire, which gets them access to the ramp very early on.
Yeah, a bit of explosion. Now they can make their way down, set their roots on that B side. However, they're not just there yet. They're going to be checking all possible angles. I like this, taking their time, methodically working through B. Maybe Tommy, who is going to be meeting with a bit of aggression. Maybe unknown of Devi's positioning, and this is looking much better for Frostfire now. Moxie and Impression, all that remain. And okay, well, Impression, he brings it back one, but that's all it's going to be. Chapman there to shut him down, and Moxie, what can he bring us from the ramp position?
He wants to save the sword, and Chapman most likely knows this. Any single damage that the CZs can do at this stage is going to be actually pretty solid, but similarly, their economy is... yeah, it's not got a lot of cash in it, thanks to Devi.
Yeah, and that's kind of the individual prowess, right? That's the kind of damage that can be dealt, especially early on. Keep the economy low, and all of a sudden you take a round and bang. B.O.O.T, met with that awkward point where they're like, do we buy? Do we save?
A few pistols here. They've got 2k on Impression. He's the poorest player. You can get some on the people with about 4k. Deagles, pistols, maybe a flashbang or an HE to try to force a couple of plays. But you really want to be buying up in the next one. Impression, he's always been the one that kind of goes for the SMGs as well as the armor and utility. So it's not as if not having enough cash in the bank is going to be too costly for him. You're not going to have the AWP and Smash Key though unless Tommy decides to drop over an AWP. And that is really where that CT side comes into play. As soon as Smash is able to find that a lot of positional advantage with the AWP and they don't lose the first pick, then B.O.O.T Dreamscape can slowly start bringing this out of control. Tommy's already pushing the lobby here as well. Might be able to progress in the T-roof, but I feel like it's being covered off.
Yep, not wrong at that. Chap's going to be waiting for the push to come through from Tommy, so punishes and walks away with not a single hit point done. Now B.O.O.T will just slowly start to find something, maybe try and isolate the jewels somewhat. Moxie's going to go for a little bit of a peek towards Outers just to make sure there's no one too close. A bit of damage done to our chap, but overall there's no concern for Frostfire in this round yet.
They're just taking things slowly at the moment, so no need to hasten things up against pistols, but they might be walking into the undersite where they will be heard out. The smokes have all going down, but Oversaw, he's on the wrong side of the vent. He's not going to be able to achieve much, unfortunately. He might be able to deny a bit of money. Frostfire can keep 5 AKs alive. This would be pretty big.
Looks as though that's exactly what they're trying to find. Devi making light work of Impression without any sort of armor. Oversaw might actually be able to catch him out though. So a 1-for-1 trade towards Outers won't be too much of a concern. It all depends. No, it doesn't look like he's going to be looking the right way, so... oh, wow. How's the timing on that? That's a little bit unfortunate. Now Moxie swings with the Deagle. Can't find anything just yet. Still tapping away. Does take quite the damage, but should pretty much lock it down. And as you were saying, this is looking pretty good for Frostfire early on. They keep all 5 rifles. And CT side will call a bit of a pause, so... this makes things a little bit more interesting. Frostfire will just sit and rest on their laurels for right now. There's no problems with that, especially if you can continue to use Devi as the star player, like we were pointing out before. Already 10 and 3 frags with 5 rounds, heading into the 6th. And
here's the thing, right? Is that this is and B.O.O.T Dreamscape. They need to be talking about this in this tactical pause that they're taking. Is that Devi so far his playstyle has been that lurker. And as soon as they identify this and they realize what's going on, all B.O.O.T need to do is nullify the first initial push from Frostfire and then just wait for Devi. They don't need to make any moves because Devi is the one that's locking down an awkward angle, and that's the role that he's been doing really well so far. But if the rest of his team's not allowed to get in this position, then it's going to be really awkward. A fast A-side push, and they just don't have the utility. But no one's checked where Tommy is. Hello! Got to be checking that position. The flashbangs are good. And just like that, 3 men down. And Frostfire, they're just going to re-swing back in the ramp.
Yeah, Tommy just plays a bit of peekaboo there. Hides and waits for the perfect time, and out like a jack in the box, he'll find himself too. Devi, however, starting to find the trades, and this is really looking good for Devi. He's starting to get on a roll early on, and although it's one player on Frostfire that's making it work, he could really go big. Tommy, however, he's having none of it. It's all on a chap. He does find himself in the right angle to take these fights. He can isolate every one-on-one here. However, now they're starting to get the hint. He won't expect a second player. Nearly hits the shot fully flashed, but no. Impression comes in to save the day. Will pick up the AWP and a kit as well. And B.O.O.T, they push back, but Frostfire still have the economy to buy.
Absolutely. They've been able to keep so many rifles up, and I mean, the CT side, yeah, they get the round, but that was a very costly round as well, considering the fact that it was a clean sweep almost, where they've killed so many people right now. Like, B.O.O.T Dreamscape are winning the initial engagements, and the Frostfire are on a 2-on-5, and they still managed to bring it back down into a 1-on-1. Where, yeah, sure, okay, Impression does win. They still manage to maintain the AWP. But this ramp position is really weak, and B.O.O.B needs to step up his game. Either needs to concede the position after the initial fights go down, or he needs to start challenging angles and go aggressively and try to shoulder peek, draw out the shots coming in from the T side. Because this is just not working out currently for B.O.O.T Dreamscape. They can't be holding angles and expecting Devi to be missing. Frostfire are looking pretty sharp. They've come into play. They're hitting their shots. Can they consistently do it, though, is a real question. And similarly, B.O.O.T Dreamscape, this is not really their final form just yet.
No, and in a best of 3, you do feel as though the time will favour B.O.O.T. Chap, however, in the meantime, shutting down Impression. Tommy now, he can put in work from second vent, swinging wide. Splashky's there to try and support, and as they push on in, Splashky gets caught out in the open, but still, he hits the shot. All the attention is on to B.O.O.B now. It's Devi who's still looking to find a handful of kills. He manages to grab one with him before he falls to his inevitable deep, dark grave. And Frostfire, I just don't know whether they can keep this up, allowing Devi to be the only hitter here. I mean, Archap's been able to chime in once or twice, but he's only 2 away from that agent, that secret agent. And that's not good.
No, not in this case. One man would like to be like a suave British talking agent, but not this kind of agent that we're talking about in this Counter-Strike game. And similarly for B.O.O.T, I mean, it's a really, really solid A-side hold coming out once again. Smashkey missing a couple of early shots, so not finding the vintage form that we're expecting coming out from arguably SEA's best AWPer. It is going to be forced by coming up from Frostfire. They've realized that the B.O.O.T Dreamscape economy is also quite low. They've taken a tactical pause, and the way that they're going for it might be a ramps explosion again, but there is going to be 2 people here. B.O.O.B and Moxie not really on the same page. What's going on over here? As
I feel like one of them was definitely like, no, we are not boosting right now. Eventually, Moxie concedes, and B.O.O.B will get him up on top of Boost. Now they can play for, of course, the bait. Bait and switch, and that is so filthy coming in from B.O.O.B.
That's actually huge as well, because that's a big telltale there. It's like, okay, they're trying to get a little bit of ramps control on Archap. Oh, no, no, you can't do that. You can't be walking through smoke. And this time around, this is a crossfire setup from the CT side, but B.O.O.B not really in position to support just yet. He's able to dance around quite well, though. And you can see B.O.O.T Dreamscape just making the small micro adjustments that seem to be working out. And Frostfire, when they're playing a bit of a slower paced game and trying to get maybe Archap or Amen into a different position, it's just not working. And maybe the faster pace is something that they just have to rely, the shock and awe factor.
Definitely something that might be able to work in their favor. Maybe lean a little bit on Devi, use him as the crutch to start with. Try and hit back as many rounds as possible in this. Now, this is Frostfire's pick, so...
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel with hope,
no,
in all honesty. I mean, I'll go into that a couple of reasons. If the pistols can do a little bit of damage, it'll be good, but Moxie, just adding a few kills and Smash, just getting a bit warmed up at the moment as well. The reason why I say this is not good is because I've said this before inside the EPL when we saw the SE teams play, is that no one outside of B.O.O.T Dreamscape in that Southeast Asia region understands how to play Nuke. And I don't care if Frostfire pick it and they go, yeah, we think we know how to play Nuke. This is, I guess, the fundamental gap at this stage. On their T side, we haven't seen any outers take where they're getting some control, forcing CT rotations, playing around the squeaky area as well, and getting a player into vent, or making B.O.O.T Dreamscape think there's a player in vent. It's just been, all right, can we get kills? Can we go fast? If not, it doesn't work out. Oh, it's back to square one once again. We're going to play fast in. Eamon, I think, has already been able to get down into the vent area, which is really good. So he's been able to drop down into unders, but for the rest of the CT so far, I think you already see Bulbasaur. He's already starting to rotate around, and Eamon, there it is, picks up the first kill. And that's actually a critical kill because it can start drawing a few more rotations from the CT side. Frostfire, they need to play with this.
And opens up the side a lot more. Splashki and Aman in a bit of a stalemate. They still haven't found the kill. Chapman comes in from the side to save the day, but Moxie now looking for the rotator. Oh, too little, too late. Can't save Tommy. And two players remaining. B.O.O.T, they've got quite the task ahead of them in finding these players. Subby now. Oh, just how's the timing on that? Eventually fixes the crosshair onto the head of Impression. And Moxie, unfortunately for B.O.O.T, he just has to concede this round and back away for now. It was again, like you said, sometimes it is going to be the factor of awe that might be the way for Frostfire.
But it just feels like Frostfire, whenever they win these rounds, is just on the back of individual picks, and B.O.O.T Dreamscape are just rotating around. I mean, they're just taking things so loosey-goosey at the stage on the CT side. This is not looking really well drilled coming in from B.O.O.T Dreamscape so far, and they're getting punished for it by this 5 hours coming in from Frostfire, where individually, if you lose these aim deals, Frostfire will just keep going. There's no such thing as a fear button or a stop button. They just keep committing. They just keep pushing. They're looking for more kills because they realize that's their strength. Tactics is not Frostfire's strength at the end of the day. That's really B.O.O.T Dreamscape's scale. And if you're coming into Nuke, it's your map pick. Sure that you might not have the strategies. You're going to have to bring the firepower. Seeing the firepower, got Eamon down there, actually. That was a critical first pick. And I like seeing that. B.O.O.T Dreamscape need to adapt around how Frostfire are taking the squeaky and vent control.
And with that, it will be the full buy for both teams again. So this is, again, not really a problem for B.O.O.T. They've still got money in the bank, so they can take their time on that next buy if they need to. That smoke, I don't know whether that's going to land. I think there might just be a gap in it. We're not going to see it just yet, but if that's so, the Molotov works to perfection. And no.
They use another
gap?
smoke, I think. Okay. They only have they have 2 smoke grenades left, and Chapman's still, I mean, 4 of them inside secret at the moment, and 1 lurking around. It's going to be our chap lurking still in lobby to make sure that none of the CTs can push forward. But you can see Tommy, he's already set himself in a position in that vent area, and Frostfire coming in as a wolf pack. I like seeing this.
Yeah, it's numbers that are the aim of the game here for Frostfire. They managed to find the first, and chat perfectly done. And the lurk finds the second as well, and that will pretty much secure the round for Frostfire. Nicely done. Like you're saying, it might just be the individual plays from Frostfire that get this done. Devi and Archat both picking up 2 apiece, and Splashki, here comes another just like the other. He's going to have to try and save the AWP, and unfortunately for B.O.O.T, it's just starting to, like you said, loosen up a bit too much. And oh, that's nice from our chap. Shutting the AWP down before it can get away, and they're just slowly keeping a hold of this first half.
And, I mean, for Frostfire, that's really well played in terms of, okay, they recognize, oh, there's a Molotov or Incendiary Grenade there. We need to use another smoke, and that's okay, because then we just have to fully commit. And you still got 1 lurking around. The fact that B.O.O.T Dreamscape haven't cottoned onto this is Frostfire's playstyle. It's a 4-1 split, or it's a 5-man default. So Tommy just comes flying out of vent. He goes, oh, I don't want to be staying in unders at the stage with a lot of T's chasing me. That's a perfectly fine decision. Then he opens Squeaky and pushes in. And Archap's just waiting there the entire time. Like, come on, that's like the freest gift for Archap. He's like, cool. Like, this is what exactly I want. Gets Impression, which is a cherry on the cake. B.O.O.T Dreamscape are not individually fragging out in terms of their normal standards. And then you can see in the moment, Frostfire, they've got 25 kills between Devi and Archap, and they're still losing. like between 2 of their players, they almost have the same as like 3 of Boot Dreamscape's players on T side compared to the T and CT side in Nuke. And this is a big chance right now for Frostfire to accelerate hard in this half. If Boot Dreamscape cannot take this buy round, I'd say that's about it. Like, this is Frostfire then forcing Boot Dream to really bring out a couple of T side strategies. And if the CT aim is on point, the crossfires are on point, doesn't matter how hard you would play with the rotation sometimes, because Divide's just going to come in and just headshot all of you.
That can be a serious concern for Boot at this point. And the question is, can they adjust on the fly? Because right now, Frostfire, they're being able to. I mean, they're sticking to their game plan, granted, but they're still making the calls, like the smoke in the earlier round. And it's the small things that turn into what could be the win.
This is going to be, oh my goodness, I'm loving what I'm seeing at the moment. This A-side explosive bust that's going to be coming out. They throw a few fake smoke outers. Now also drawing some attention into lobby, but they're actually busting out to A. This is actually sick from Frostfire. Take back what I said about tactics. There's also one coming in from Annex.
This could be massive for Frostfire if they can execute this correctly, and that's going to be Archap opening up the account as the damage was done to Tommy before, and Marn is the man to do it. Splashkey can't get anything done. And again, it's Archap and Divide that are doing everything. Frostfire are literally leaning on 2 crutches in the form of Archap and Divide, and oh my word, make it a third. Moxie is deleted from the server. Unfortunately, can't find the 4th, but Bulbasaur will be able to swap out for the AK. Still got a couple more to find. They are literally finding every single kill right now.
Absolutely. This is just the firepower that's demolishing from Frostfire at the moment. And we saw this earlier on in the season in terms of, well, they're definitely able to do this. Right? They're able to come out, guns blazing, etc., bring this form onto land. But for Boot Dreamscape, their firepower's not showing up. Their rotation's just being played with at the moment. Like, that was actually really sick from Frostfire. They throw a bunch of outer smoke. They really make Boot Dreamscape scared that it could be secret control. They force a few more rotations down into the B bomb site. Instead, there's only 2 on A, and they just get absolutely slammed from that point onwards. And you can see Archap coming in from Annex. He's the one that has been on point so far with Divine. Now the others are starting to step up around it as well. T-side economy is firmly set for the rest of this half as well. And Boot Dreamscape, sure, they're serviceable in Nuke, but if Frostfire is just bringing this firepower at this stage, then what else can you say? Tommy chips in away at Arman.
I feel like that's what you can say. Maybe. Could this be the way for Boot to start to amount some rounds like they did in the... No. Archap makes short work of my words and makes me eat them as he now heads on towards that lower side. Only one going to be making their way through towards the vent, which is Splashkey, but it's all just slow plays from here on out from Frostfire, and they can separate Boot completely.
But similarly, there's a lot of nice positions that the CTs can play around this, and you need to start seeing a bit of progressive play coming out from one of the pistolers pushing either into lobby and trying to catch one of these lurkers off. Frostfire have been really good making sure they don't get flanked, that they can take this territory safely, which is one thing I can say how their setup works. Right now, this is Subby's role to make sure no one's pushing from lobby. Now they're committing out into this B bomb site, clearing out all the corners. There is still one in control, though. There it is, Splashkey. Oh my goodness, that is some masterful pistol work coming out. And that is a round that is just... Oh man, this is a big letdown coming in from Frostfire. These rifles need to be retrieved pronto coming in from the CT side as well. They should realize, okay, there's no time. Pick up the rifles, lads. Make sure you get the fullest buy possible forward. There we are. Another AK. And it should be no more AKs because Impression is cooked. Okay,
there we go.
There we are. He's lucky. He's lucky that it was a little bit extended because that end round timer is a little bit longer than I'm used to.
Yeah, it just gives him enough time to pick that up. And now they only need to worry about the M4 and the AWP, which they managed to pick up on Splashkey with head armor. Now, of course, that doesn't make a difference because it's AKs, so it's not really going to change anything at the end of the day. Maybe they pull out a Glock and he gets lucky because he did buy the head armor, but more often than not on that CT side, you will see the AWP pick up more utility rather than the head armor, but he does favour at this point, and Moxie's gone aggressive all by himself. No utility to back him up from his teammates, so that's going to be the first frag going the way of Frostfire. Some damage done, but overall, Frostfire will be jumping with joy.
They're all contained in their Outers position though, and Bulbasaur actually making this mid-round push. It's really risky, but it may pay off a lot of dividends. As Splashkey, he is isolated in a terrible corner at the moment. He realizes this right now. Needs to land multiple shots, given a bit of a reprieve coming in from Archap. Now Impression also wants to be careful, re-peeking a lot of times, but that's Subby. That's not Archap or Devi.
Chapman, he will find one, but that's Haman. Again, falling down and just out in the open. The rest of his team were not on the same page at all. He swings wide into Annex, and there's no potential for a trade. There's no potential for even information, bar that there's one on the A side.
Or is Splashkey at the moment? There's no one on the unders bomb site for the CTs, is there? So, I mean, this is a good position for Frostfire to be in. And you can see how concerned B.O.O.T, Dreamscape are that there's going to be another person lurking, but the bomb plant is going to be committed at the bomb site. 3-person retake with a smoke and flashbang to work with. And Devi, he's in the vent position. He could line up so many at the moment. He's going to be wrapping around, but he can't seem to land the shots that he needs to this time around. Still outputting damage. It's all down to this 1-on-2 at this moment. Chapman playing in from that door position. Just going to be waiting to try to open up and get one cheeky pick off. Bulbasaur just going to be tapping the defuse. Now the door is going to swing open, and both Dreamscape players going to be swinging around. More than ample time to get the defuse at the end, but Frostfire conceding a few more rounds now. B.O.O.T, Dreamscape are being quite happy that they're going up to 9 rounds in all honesty, because it feels like Frostfire, the firepower, it's been overwhelming for 2 of the players. For the other 3, it's been pretty forgettable. Let's be realistic. I'm in Chapman and Subby. We can make excuses and say they're playing roles and everything, but they need to be clicking on more pixels. If Devi and Archap can do it, why can't the other 3 do it?
Yeah, Chapman needed to step up there for Frostfire. A moment in need, but unfortunately when called upon, goes missing. Now I just want to touch very quickly on Splashkey's ability with not just movement, but his knowledge of the angles on Nuke. He was caught out in the open towards CT then, literally out in the open, and he had no support and still picks up a kill and gets away. This man right now, he could read real danger for Frostfire. However, it's not really been the biggest of concerns. They've had Impression to worry about as well. So for now, it's just a bit of an easier default for Frostfire. They're sticking all of their players, just making sure that they can't be pushed from outers, lobby, or ramp. So it cuts off all of that later round aggression that we saw last round with Bulbasaur, which gave them so much information. And B.O.O.T, if they can continue to, just press, just the last round, might just find themselves 5 rounds up. Tommy, he will find the first, and that opens up completely.
And this is the problem, right, is that Frostfire, they're very separated at this stage. They really can't have a go signal anywhere, and now all the CCs have so much utility they can still drop. 30 seconds left in the round. Look at that. Another Incinerator Grenade. You're going to have to go back to the A bomb site. There's just a barrage of flashbangs and everything coming away. You just can't commit into ramp at this stage. Splashkey is going to drop another flashbang, and they're just walking out. This is a complete read coming in from Dreamscape. It's going to require severe failure coming in from this hold for it to fail. Archap coming in lurking a little bit late. Still managed to get a pickup. It's going to drop an event, but there's still Bulbasaur lurking around. Bomb is going to be in the hands of Archap, who's going to make his way to the B bomb site. Can he get it planted is a real question. Yes, he can.
Still, no. I was going to say way too much. He had 2 players coming in from either side, pincing him completely and shutting it down. B.O.O.T will find a 10th round, and now here comes the journey. Can they make this work, Frostfire? This is their map pick. We need to see them step up right now.
Devi's dropped a 20 bomb as well, by the way. Like,
filthy.
I mean, this is the whole thing, right? Is that Frostfire, I feel like they have been doing decently well on the T side. We've seen some, I mean, in 1 or 2 rounds we've seen strategies. In other rounds, they're trying something, it's not working out, and that's really where it falls apart for them. And B.O.O.T Dreamscape got a huge reprieve winning that pistol round. Let's be realistic. It's still not looking great for Dreamscape in terms of the firepower, but on the T side, might be a little bit easier to get the shots. A couple of weak holes in the CT defense. Iman, Chapman, as well as Subby. They're just not outputting the damage that they need at the moment, and you can't rely on Archap and Devi to be stepping up every single time. And Devi, he will be able to get the AWP on the CT side, hopefully.
Well, if he manages to pick that up, that could change the events for Frostfire. That might just swing it in their favor, even if it is just a small portion. Then all it will take is a small push from the rest of their team. just a small step up from where they are at the moment. Our chap can only spot out Impression, and he's just being a little bit cheeky, playing with death. He won't need to worry about it just yet. They are making their way out on towards the A bomb site for an Impression. The angle's known. Divine now has to step up. Can't make anything work. Subby and Aman again. They're falling shy without a kill. Moxie, Chapman, can you not hear the footsteps? He just fell from the top of T roof and unfortunately just cannot hear anything. Chap and Divide, the heroes from the previous round, they fall with no impact whatsoever in that round. Rather, Divide actually falls with the only impact of the round.
And that's the thing at the end of the day, right, is that you see for B.O.O.T Dreamscape there, they're able to get so much map control. They can't get picked off because Frostfire, they don't have that individual brilliance coming through for the USPs, and it just falls apart from there. They're still going to force up into this, and these are always the dangerous rounds, right? You've got a bunch of CZs, a bunch of Deagles. We've seen how sharp the CTs can be in it, and B.O.O.T Dreamscape, if they walk into these firing crosshairs, it makes me very, very scared. They're going to have to hit some nice shots to nullify the danger. You already hear one Deagle ringing out. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little bit scary.
It's just the pistols, isn't it? It's the magic of the pistols, I feel. But Aman, oh no, he does just tag the shoulder of Impression. That will be all it is. However, Tommy now going to be holding down. He had his area. Our chap will not be expecting that whatsoever as they make their way down Secret, heading towards Decon. You can see it just on the X-ray. And they might just be met with a bit of aggression there, actually. Aman will find himself in a bit of a firefight, but a scrappy one at that. It's going to be Moxie that finds the kill, and that might just open up that site. Still Chapman there to do some damage, and there we go with the Deagle. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Splashkey will shut down Subby, but Chapman poured out from Moxie, and Devai. It's a broken record at this point, Kev.
And that's the whole thing at the end of the day as well. You can be an impressive lurker and you can be star fragging it up at the moment as Divide, but if you just situate yourself in a position where you can't really do damage and B.O.O.T Dreamscape are moving around you, it doesn't matter how many of the kills that you really get, are they really impactful? We saw, yes, he was able to do economic damage earlier on, that secured Frostfire some pretty nice rounds. But you got to be backing that up. You got to be getting these impact kills like Archap. Like Archap has less kills, but I feel like he's been able to enter, get the kills that they need, keep rolling forward. Get the kills that they need, keep entering, rolling forward. Not working out in this particular round. As B.O.O.T Dreamscape, like I said, they've got so much experience in class on land that they're able just to really kick it into the next gear. They just go, okay, this is what we need to do to fix. We're better than this. And I mean, this is always the classic, right? Is that Singapore versus Malaysia, neither side really wants to lose to each other. Like, no one wants to really go like, oh, which, like, you know, Singaporean noodles versus char kway teow, right, for example. Like, people don't want to be going, oh, this is better than that. Like, as a Singaporean, you don't want to be like, no, ours is better.
But it's the
Malaysia,
same.
no, it's not the same. That's
No, I'm not saying the same thing. I'm saying it's the same thing for the other countries as well.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, well, you know, this is our opportunity to shine. This is an Asian-only event. This is where we can kind of say, well, no, we are the better region. But at this point, it's definitely B.O.O.T that are coming out on top. Archap swinging with a kill, and Chapman able to find another as well. So they are going to make their way out onto the towards the A site. Now, finally some trades coming in, and maybe the work that Frostfire had done has just been... Oh, wowzers, that's a nice shot with the Deagle. Sees a pixel at the head and deletes him completely now. Archap can make it work with the MAC-10. Comes in from behind, takes the attention away from the last two players, and Frostfire, they find an eco round out of everything.
That's what I mean. B.O.O.T Dreamscape, they just come in, and then that's just loose as heck. Come on, let's be realistic. You got Bulbasaur out as he misses the entire SMG clip. That's just... it's terrible. Impression comes in, dies an Annex, and then Splashkey just misses an entire clip of the AK-47 trying to get the trade. And like at the end of the day, it goes, look, yeah, sure, B.O.O.T Dreamscape can still buy into this, not the fullest utility. They're still up by 6 rounds, but why give the CTs a big helping hand when you can try not giving them a massive help instead? Tommy has managed to make his way through the edge of the smoke and might be making contact with Iman just like that. And I mean, they just come in, they're just coming in also loose. Where's the cover coming in from the rest of the players? This is just all so terrible and staggered from B.O.O.T Dreamscape. It's looking horrendous. Like, what's going on here?
It's a bit of a cluster, if anything. It almost seems as though, I don't know, it does feel like they just don't have a firm grasp on what they want to do. That or they are just overconfident at this point. But it's not going to happen at this exact moment. Our chap just holding the line to Annex, so they don't need to worry about that whatsoever. The only thing they need to worry about from Outers, of course, is that secret area. Maybe the drop from Annex deep in towards the CT part, but with Moxie and Impression left, they are looking just to hold the line, waiting for some aggression to come through from Frostfire, but they're not showing it. So it is going to force their hand, and so it's seen. Chapman hits quite a nice shot, and Impression falls to leave Moxie all by himself. It's pretty much about finding some kills at this point. Some kills he will find, actually. Chapman falls, and with that...
Yeah, there's still... Yeah, I was about to say there could be a chance, but there's still one in decon, so there's pretty much no chance.
Yeah, you may as well try.
Can't really do much at this stage, as B.O.O.T Dreamscape, like that tech was just terrible. For Frostfire, at the end, they're able to try to build up the CT economy, and like I said, the CT economy is absolutely pivotal for Nuke.
And for those of you who are just joining us, this will be Frostfire's pick. Next up, B.O.O.T Dreamscape head to Train with their veto, and then Mirage will be the last to remain. So definitely feel with the experience that B.O.O.T have behind them that this should be a bit of an easier best of three, an easier quarterfinals, but at least Frostfire, they're packing some punches.
This is, once again, it's like firepower, right? Is that Frostfire have the firepower to contest it at B.O.O.T Dreamscape at the moment. B.O.O.T Dreamscape have not been able to really respond back. They dropped against a pistol round, all right? Let's not forget that. They dropped against a pistol round. They could be up 13-5 at this stage. The CT economy is looking a little bit shaky. They're able to do further damage here, but it's the opposite now. The CT economy is looking pretty solid. They are not in a position really losing any rifles. It's becoming 8-12. And Frostfire is honestly in a pretty good situation in actually closing out this game.
Still a lot left to the imagination. There is plenty of time for Frostfire to be able to gain this momentum, and slowly but surely you're starting to see something of the traction that they're looking for. That's pretty much how it has to be right now. The momentum that will swing them into the map number 2 to take it to the best of 3 series. I definitely feel as though if they can't secure this, we might be seeing that clean sweep. And B.O.O.T are only up 4 rounds. Like you're saying, anything can really happen, and Frostfire, they do start to kind of gain more confidence. It is CT-sided, so they can use that to their fullest advantage, but it's going to have to take a lot straight out onto the A site. Subby will be met with the CZs in his face. Pobazor as well, taking down Archat. The bomb will be able to be placed, however, it's kind of in an awkward position. Okay. Impression, what are you doing? You're literally running into the Molotov, and this round's just fallen apart for B.O.O.T. They had the upper side, and it's just simple mistakes. There's only 2 left for Frostfire.
I mean, that's not a simple mistake. That's just, okay, let's just, for B.O.O.T Dreamscape, come on guys, kick it a scale back, right? You're trying to make these 200 IQ plays, you're trying to force them to work. It's not going to work. Like, Frostfire are just going to be sitting their ground and looking to duel it out. That's their strength. And you're playing directly into their strength where they're just going, oh yeah, we'll just chill out here and just hold angles. Could have just gone for the bomb plant. That's extra cash to work with. You can play around the situation from there. Force Frostfire to show their hand. So, another round going missing for B.O.O.T Dreamscape. Another opportunity for Frostfire to just move forward on the CT half. And you can say, yeah, Frostfire getting lucky in a couple of rounds. And B.O.O.T Dreamscape are borderline just making some really questionable decisions. At the end of the day, it's still the CTs getting the rounds, bring it back even closer. And B.O.O.T Dreamscape, if they're even able to get a single round here, they need to keep it clean once again, because you lose so many AKs, Frostfire can just destroy your economy and just, once again, just close the gap. Keep doing the damage, keep rolling forward. I was criticizing some of their players for not having the firepower earlier, but they're starting to slowly step up and making sure their corridors are being covered. And B.O.O.T Dreamscape need to start throwing a bit more strategies inside this game. They need to start getting a little bit more squeaky control, maybe try to contest it over this vent area. Outers looks like a no-go right now. Frostfire have so much presence here.
Now, Frostfire, of course, they are definitely starting to make moves, and
Like, Devi's already pushed halfway into Outers, I feel like. He's, like, underneath Silo at this stage, and the T's, they're still watching it, though, but they need to punish him for this over-aggression.
It has to be punished. I mean, B.O.O.T can't allow Frostfire to gain control on CT side like this. They can't be allowing Frostfire to dictate.
He's just pushed in. He's actually gotten one.
Well, with this, they're going to go straight into the back of this A site. They're going to have to try and hold, but look at this push coming in. Like you were saying, from behind, he's going to be able to find one. Archap. Even finding Moxie, and with only two, this is just looking really muddy from B.O.O.T Dreamscape. They've still got 4 more to do some damage, but another pause being called. You just have to suggest that that's for B.O.O.T. They're just falling apart. Falling apart like some nice tender meat. And with that, Frostfire are ready for dinner.
Yeah, like I'm saying at this stage, is that B.O.O.T Dreamscape, they're just completely overthinking it at this stage. They need to start switching off some of these brain cells and just start, like, trying to start out aiming. That's literally it. Why are you trying to throw fancy executes against this guy called Devi who's just going to be pushing at you? Why are you trying to throw these fancy executes against Frostfire who's just shifting a lot of members out? You keep your guns out, you trade each other out. You saw how well that worked during the A bomb site. You busted out just like that. Oh, look, you were able to get the kills and got the site, but then you overthought it, you cooked it, and then, oh, tried going into vent, tried making a sneaky move to try to counteract that Frostfire coming to the A bomb site. Why don't you trust in the fact that you've got 4 people still alive, that you can definitely frag it out there with the pistols? You've done it with the Tech 9s, you've got some nice post-plant positions, you can do it. But instead, they're trying to make these plays. They're playing like the scared team. They're playing like they're the underdogs at the moment, and Frostfire coming in like they're the confident team, and they're the ones that are looking to stomp B.O.O.T Dreamscape. It's like the scales are completely turned at this stage.
Yeah, I suppose that is kind of the beautiful thing about a CT-sided map, is when you do get the chance to go on your picked map, you do get the opportunity to flex, and that's going to be Archap taking down Impression. Bit of a smoke criminal there to find the opening kill, and there's no response coming in from B.O.O.T. There's nothing that they can do. Only one player towards Outers to try and sell somewhat of a fake, but unfortunately, on the back of that, they take too long to go towards ramp. Chapman might have just set himself in stone, finds the first kill, might go back for some more. The flash is there, and now they can start to work with it. It's Devi that comes in for both players that remain, and like you're saying, this is not looking good for B.O.O.T whatsoever.
Still getting another buy up. I don't know what they talked about in that tack pause, but they need to be focusing on this round. What they need to be doing is that, okay, do they try to take some Outers control? Do they just go and dry a little bit and try to catch Frostfire off timing a little bit? Do they go for a fast push? They need to start throwing something a little bit different, because Frostfire are expecting to execute. You've got Devi, who's just got the W key held down. Got Outers control coming in from the CT side as well. They haven't even needed to rely on it off. And you can see Iman, he's just aware of the fact that one of the Ts wants to drop in event, but he just drops in event himself. Trying to bait in Splash here and jumping in. But they might not have spotted him. Zerba Smoke is a little bit different. So Splash here is going to be lurking around that smoke. Devi. They finally caught him!
Finally. The elusive Devi eventually falls. And with that, so too does the bomb strike, but no, it doesn't. Chapman lays waste to the push coming through. Splash key and Mox. Oh, wow, Tommy. I actually thought that he was on Frostfire then. I didn't even check the name, so he'll be able to shut down the one player pushing towards Secret. And Subby, if ever there's a time for you to stand up and start to shine, this is it. However, he's on the wrong side. And wrong site completely. So the bomb's going to go down, and the response is going to be fairly late. So maybe the save might come in. He might just test the waters, put the feelers out.
This is where Subby needs to just go in hard, right? He's going to look at his money, and he's going, oh, I'm a little bit poor here. But then he looks at his teammates' money, and he's going, hey, Chapman, you can actually just buy me anything I want. Okay, I might as well go in and just do damage. I'll just come in late, around about 5 seconds left, try to catch people rotating out. You can see he's just coming in very slowly, trying to find the timing. He denies even a single AK that's worth, because that is so much that B.O.O.T Dreamscape need to buy up. They're going to try and exit. They've exited out the wrong way, and he's going to try. Nice attempt. Might as well go for it.
I think seconds earlier with that smoke, it's always awkward, isn't it? Because you got to try and release it right after you bound. Yeah, it's just... It's a nice effort, but unfortunately, regardless of the energy put into that, the thought turns into nothing. The man that stays behind finds the kill. And now Frostfire, they need to get back up on that saddle. Dust it off a little bit. Saying, nah, we're not worried about that.
Yeah, they've just whipped out the AWP. They've just gone, all right, my name's Devi. I'm going to be AWPing it now. Where am I going to be taking the AWP? Where should I be switching up my angles? They've also got RChat posted far back inside warehouse as well.
So they're just sitting comfortable. They're just waiting for these players to push their lines.
Here's the danger, right? Splashki's been able to get vent control, and that is a big problem coming in from the CT side, because this full committal coming in from B.O.O.T Dreamscape, 1 lurking at the silo position, 3 coming in from Secret, is really difficult for the CTs to deal with. All Tommy needs to do is just sit still. He doesn't need to make a single move.
But if he does, he will be punished. That's the thing. From RChat's position, it all depends, because I think Tommy might just swing down to Annex and try and cause some problems, but he will just be met with the crossfire. So, not the crossfire, rather the crosshair. And still just needs to be careful. Now he's going to be making his move. In the meantime, they are starting to execute on towards that lower side. It's Splashki that's starting to make his move, but it's Devi taking down 2 players. Actually, just make it the 1. And there's no response coming in from Frostfire just yet, and they're just looking the wrong way, being caught out. RChat and Subby now. Again, they might even just have to look at saving. Subby's going to put the feelers out, try and find something. He does, and maybe that changes the minds of Frostfire. But no, there we go. RChat, he thought about it for a second and said no.
The difference here is that they go, okay, RChat goes, okay, I have no money, and then Subby goes, I have no money. I thought Chapman still had 11k. But the problem is that, okay, now they've dipped a little bit too much in the bank reserves. They need to keep these 2 M4s alive, otherwise it could be problematic. You can still get a full buy up in the next one. You've got Subby who's keeping the M4. You've got RChat. Devi will have about 5k. Chapman will have about 6k. Drop a few rifles over. Maybe even SMG. You're just going to have to go to Iron. All right, you're going to have a pistol or an SMG. It sounds rough, but that's the best that you can do with. And Moxie, he's going on a hunt at this. Oh, man, that is big. That is big coming in from Moxie.
They're the kind of frags that you definitely need to be taking right at the end if you're B.O.O.T. Because, I mean, B.O.O.T are 2 rounds away from securing this first map, and possibly that might just find themselves a place in that semi-final.
I don't even know how. Like, I honestly feel like Frostfire's been playing so much better firepower-wise, but just towards the end, B.O.O.T Dreamscape have been able to pull out a couple more things outside. They've been able to compose themselves a little bit more, and they're able to roll forward with it, so...
Yeah, just retracing their steps, but this is really nice from Frostfire right now. Look at the aggression towards ramp. They've already found themselves through. They might just find the lineup from lobby, and this could be massive for Frostfire. They just need to be patient. Ayman has spotted one out, and it's all about this push. Oh my word, all of B.O.O.T Dreamscape are not looking the right way. Ayman finds the first and the second as well. Subby shutting down Moxie, and Chapman comes in from behind for the backstab. It's only Impression to do some damage. He's already fallen down to 18 HP. Subby puts the nail in the coffin for the round, and that might just make things a little bit more interesting here.
Yeah, and B.O.O.T Dreamscape, once again, they're sitting around and they're going, okay, we're going to execute here, and then Frostfire go, my name's Frostfire, I'm holding W, and I'm just looking to just come in and just frag you out, because forget about rotations. You can see Frostfire, if they get played with the rotations, they have no idea how to respond. What they know how to respond with is just outright aggression. So they just go, all right, I'm just going to push forward and just delete people. And B.O.O.T Dreamscape, they're forcing up into this. And once again, it's going to be really exciting to be seeing what's going on. It's going to be a full A-site push. Where are the grenades coming forward? Iman's going to be completely blinded out. But Chapman, someone's going to have to hear where Chapman's coming from. That's not good enough coming in from Repression. And once again, they're just losing complete control of the map. They get into the A-bomb site. And then guess what? They just get completely flanked because Frostfire, there's no such thing as stopping. They're just pushing forward.
Suka. They are just going as hard as they need to right now. And the thing is, last round they went a little bit slower. This round they pick up the pace and they find one and the double trade from Devi. So, you know, you're looking at a 3-for-1. RChat's going to be able to just stick the barrel of the gun in the back of Splashki and hold down the trigger. But Frostfire are really starting to take the bulls by the horn, and unfortunately B.O.O.T, the small steps that they were retracing to fix what was going on, they've just been thrown out the window. This aggression that Frostfire have shown. Now the problem is B.O.O.T doesn't know what to do. How do you stop that push? Because if you put too many players there, they're just going to push towards outers.
All right, here's the thing, right, is that they need to start holding default and just relying once again on the individual plays. Normally I advocate for team play, but these guys are so focused on team play, they forget to see the bigger picture sometimes, or the smaller picture in this case. Just need to hold some aggression early on. You've got pistols this round. You've got some sharp players. Go give them a little bit of space to work with. Stop thinking about how to frag it out as a team. need to do. And sure, they may not win this round. It's a 5-4, but hey, come on, they've got pistols, right? Bulbasaur's desperately trying to find this weapon. It's forcing Frostfire into maybe, okay, maybe we still have to go aggressive. And as soon as they try to go aggressive, guess what they're going straight back into? It's going to be guns trained on their position, and they need to be punished for this. Archap pushing in dry like that, Tommy needs to be able to hit that shot. I think he only had a Glock, though, so fair enough.
This has just been... how do they not expect Frostfire to still be doing this? That's the third round in a row now they've been punished for pushing towards ramp. B.O.O.T have not been able to hold that down at all, and granted, yes, it is just the pistols. They still should expect some sort of aggression when they've had that much success. Now they're going to have to try and explode out in towards ramp. Will be kept at bay now with Moxie just showing his shoulder. Making their way on through. Chapman's going to be able to pick up the first, still being pushed. He does find the second and the third as well. Moxie tries to come in for some kills or some progression, but it's not to happen. And Frostfire have just gone toe-to-toe with B.O.O.T on the first map.
Yep, 14 all. And kill scores are incorrect, by the way. Devi's got 32 kills. Archap's got 28. So between them, they got 60 kills, which is pretty much a combination of, well, more than... It is literally more than the combination of their teammates. Like, Devi has pretty much the same amount of kills as Chapman, Subby, and Eamon combined.
Yeah. Almost. Almost. It's actually kind of absurd.
And this is what I mean.
One
like,
kill shy.
And this is the whole thing, right? This is what I mean by early on Frostfire. I felt like even back down when they were 8-12, I said that they're actually in a position to close out the game is because, like, B.O.O.T Dreamscape are just completely overreading the situation. They're just overthinking it. They're going, all right, what do we need to do here? We need to do this, we need to do that. They're trying to think on an accelerated level. In Frostfire, you can argue that, sure, they don't have the experience or the tenure or even just the, I would say, the technical or the tactical strong-how, but they're relying on their aim. They're doing really random things that are catching B.O.O.T Dreamscape off by guard, and that's on B.O.O.T Dreamscape not adapting. Once again, look at that. Iman's just the edge of the smoke, and he's just going, hey, how's it going, guys? This is Frostfire to a T, what they're doing.
There's even an argument to say that it's not the technical sense, rather the tactical sense that Frostfire are achieving right now, because right there you saw two players push towards outers. There's an argument for both sides right now from Frostfire. They're literally relying on their mechanics, like you're saying, to hit these shots. But still, it's these holes that are coming through for Frostfire that are making things work. However, eventually Splashkey getting down in towards Secret and through to Control changes things up a little bit. Subby waiting patiently, open arms, and Bulbasaur can't do anything. The bear hug comes in, Devi shuts down Splashkey, and he was trying to do a dirty, but Tommy will find a response. Man now just needs to be careful. Needs to stay alive, basically. 40 seconds left on the clock. Let B.O.O.T take the side if you want.
There's a single smoke for them to use. Problematic smoke to be using as well at the same time. Where do you use it? Do you use it in Control? Do you use it in Decon? I mean, Decon, he can still pop open the door and still cause troubles as well, spraying through or trying to play around the edge of it. The CTs should be rotating down soon as well. We're just going to tap the plant once, but this is, I mean, look at the change up from Frostfire once again. It's just discipline this time around. They go, all right, we'll just let the plant go down. We really want to take this round to make sure we can bring it into our victory. And this is where the individuals of B.O.O.T Dreamscape need to 100% step up. Eamon's going to come forward and tag down Tommy very, very low. And he's also dinked out Moxie as well. They know where both T's are right now. Eamon going to be proceeding forward. Moxie trying to find the headshot. He needs to find the headshot, but it's going to be Eamon coming out on top. Has more than enough time to get the defuse, even without a kit. 3 kills for him, and B.O.O.T Dreamscape. It's not them on match point, it's Frostfire on match point in terms of this.
Well, considering B.O.O.T were up almost 12-6, 12-7, I can't even remember.
Here's the whole thing, right? You go back to that 12-5 round and you go, wow, look at that. They had 2 separated players that got picked off by pistols. They came out to the A-bomb site, they missed a ton of shots, and you go, that's unfortunate, but they can still win, right? Because they're ahead. No. That single round could have been a difference between them closing it out quite cleanly, about a 16-9, 16-10, and now it's just brought into a fair where, oh, Jesus, we've only got 5 AKs, we've barely got any utility. Now we have to go Suns out, Guns out, see how this goes against Frostfire, who have been looking pretty much on point so far. You've got Devi's AWP to be contesting against. Now you finally have to go as a hunter-killer squad. Why didn't you do this earlier? Still get picked up through the smoke.
From bad to worse for B.O.O.T right now. Nothing that they're doing seems to be coming off, and that is all props to Frostfire. They've been able to adapt on the fly, find themselves some cheeky kills. They're just walking into a crossfire, and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. Chapman can hold as Splashkey tries to make a play, but as he goes a little bit more aggressive, changes his angle up. The off angle's there, and it looks like B.O.O.T have just sealed their own fate.
I would even say that's them sealing their own fate. It's really just Frostfire just owning this victory pretty much in terms of firepower and B.O.O.T Dreamscape. Just a few loose rounds. That's really just costing the entire game. Now, Iman's still going to be dancing around. None of the T's have been able to hit these shots. And, I mean, the bomb's still lost. They eventually hit the shot, but they've taken quite a bit of damage. Time is ticking away. A chance for them to be playing with, but I mean, so many members of Frostfire here. It's going to be so difficult. And you can see Devi is just trained in the vent at the moment.
Nice shot.
Yeah, he's just been on point so far. An impression, you can try to play around with this as long as you want, but 20 seconds, 3 people to still find. There's going to be Subby trained on the vent as well. You're not allowed to exit. 16-14 victory from Frostfire. That's their map going in their favor. We're going to be jumping onto train just after this break. Don't go anywhere.
The best audio setting is the one you're comfortable with, so you can act and react anytime. Intuitive touch panel for treble and bass adjustment. With driverless design, you just plug and play. Everyone grips the mouse differently, so how can one mouse work for all? Different sizes and shapes for your options. Pick the one that fits your grip for long-lasting comfort and gameplay. With driverless design, you just plug and play.
As far as I know, everyone on the team who has tried the new screen from BenQ is using the feature with 240 Hz. It's so amazing, the transition is so great.
I think for me the most important when I play the game is that I feel that all my actions directly represented on the monitor. This is just another level on top of that, I would say.
It improves your gameplay a lot. You can react much faster on these kinds of monitors, and like once you play on 240 Hz, you can't go back.
Personalize the way you see everything, and then conquer. Exclusive Black Equalizer brightens dark scenes without overexposing bright areas. Use the S switch to quickly access the setting and switch between save modes. Adjust the angle effortlessly for maximum comfort.
Hello everyone and welcome back into the final quarterfinal for this evening. And Boot Dreamscape, they're not up 1-0 in this series. It's Frostfire. They managed to take Nuke 16-14, took all 30 rounds, but we're straight back into the action once again after a short break. This time Frostfire starting on the CT side. This Boot Dreamscape's map pick will be able to get the bomb plant down on that A site bus, but still a lot of CTs available for the retake.
Yeah, all 5 still up, make that 4. Tommy, he opens the bank account here for Boot. Oh, Moxie hitting a nice shot as Aman tries to make his way back across. Splashkey now getting in amongst the midst. Chapman, he falls down with absolutely nothing to show for it. It's all Chap and Divide, the two saviors, the two heroes for Frostfire from last map. They're going to have to do a lot more here. Oh, Moxie nearly gives Chap the idea. Oh, how's he still giving him that? Doesn't make a difference. It is going to be the dub for Boot in the first round. And Frostfire, they do keep 2 alive. The kit will remain on to Device. So, I mean, it's not all bad news. Yes, you lose the first round, but on the back of some armor and...
Okay, Chap, that's a little bit brave there. And Impression just goes, oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's a free kill for me. Nice. But they do keep the kit. A couple of Ts go down. That's completely fine. Where is Boot Dreamscape going to go against this 4 spy coming in from Frostfire? It's going to be the real question. Scout out in the hands of Chap Devi with a Deagle. Always deadly for Frostfire. But you have to say that Boot Dreamscape on Nuke were also playing about their C or D game. That was not the normal standard Boot Dreamscape. Look, I'm going to still be rooting for Frostfire here. I want an upset to happen. No one believed the boys from Malaysia could do it. Still going to be difficult. Oh no, Chap. So close to hitting the second headshot.
That would have been a little bit dirty, but it's not to be. Moxie, he comes in for Divine. Oh, well read from Tommy as well. There's not too many other options. Once you see that the side's clear and there's no other bullets flying, you can only assume that one's on the flank, or realistically from there's only Z and back of old Bomb that they can be. So, and that is exactly where Stubby is. Will find himself a kill on the Moxie. Might be trying to pick up that AK, but no. Splashkey denies, and a bit of BM to go along with that.
No, it's not BM enough. It's the classic BM is you go over, you're this dude called Benkai, you're versing a Chinese team, and then you shoot the head of a dead Chinese player's body. That's called ultimate BM, and then Benkai becomes a public enemy #1.
Poor Benkai.
Nah, not really.
No?
No.
You're on the hate bandwagon?
Nah, he's a good player. He might be a better tank driver as well. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Maybe Boot Dreamscape, they're going to be proceeding forward without Benkai anyway. Right into the A-bomb site. Molotovs are flying out, so are the guns.
What? I mean, they're trying to put up a fight here, but that's pretty much the only story we can tell for that. Splashkey whips out the CZ to secure his 3rd kill for the round. Just goes and dances in the flames. Why not? Bit of a ritual after annihilating an eco. So.
Wait, what? Okay, no, okay. I honestly thought, I just looked at the plant and it said bomb planted. 30-something seconds left. And I'm like, wait, what? Is it 35 seconds? No. Okay, it was 40 and just ticked down really quickly, so. I was scared for a moment. It did used to be 35 seconds. Give this old wine that's so used to Source in these hours a bit of a break.
The good old Source. I'm a 1.6 boy. On the ye olde original.
1.6 was just Bloodstrike for me. It was like in high school, I just run around and drop 30s in Bloodstrike. It was just my aim prac against my older fellow high school kids. I had to say that I was probably the 2nd or 3rd best 1.6 player around the block at my school. Then became the best global offensive player, so not really a hard ask at this stage, but out comes the execute in the A-bomb site once again. Smokes is going to be leaving this sandwich corridor open for Impression. This is much better coming out from Boot Dreamscape. I mean, I was saying that they were missing completely just then.
Oh, Splashkey is definitely not missing, I'll tell you that much. And
Word.exe. Admin, check his PC.
Boot bouncing back. It's too early for this, man.
Hey, you mean it's too late? I can already see what Twitch chat are saying. I am the chat.
You are just the embodiment of everything that is a Twitch chat.
Come on, man. Like, as soon as that shot happens, I guarantee you, 3 Word.exes. Calling it now. We're obviously a little bit ahead here. So you're going to see it over there. And As Boot Dreamscape just clean up a very, very quick buy round. They are kicking things into second gear and so far from Frostfire there. The firepower that was present on Nuke has faded away, and how quickly can 10 to 15 minutes change things?
Well, apparently quite the margin. Boot are definitely starting off, showing well and truly that they should have shut that map out when they had the chance. 12-5 they were up at one point. But that is all kudos to Frostfire and their ability to hold on to that. It is going to be the shot through the wall, doesn't hit the body rather. Now waiting for these nice little deagle. The dirty digs doesn't do anything, and B.O.O.T-d will just be cleaning up here. The pistol round hasn't turned into too much just yet, but still some damage is being done. B.O.O.T-d has dropped low. Tommy will lose his life for that shot. That's what happens when you miss a couple of shots against our chap. He will punish you regardless.
But still, the T's are spread out in a decent fashion to make sure they can counteract any aggression. Splash keep. They're able to do the tag damage and switching out to the sidearm. Continue to hold the angle means that it just adds to the stats.
All I'm saying is Splashkey is absolutely loving this. He's absolutely loving that sidearm.
Like I said, I mean, you're going into Nuke, right? Frostfire were overstepping and obviously playing at a higher level, but they were being unable to really bring it this form onto Train. They need to start kicking things up, all right? Devi's got the AWP. This is where you really got to be putting that foot down. And for Boot Dreamscape, man, they're going to be furious after losing Nuke, after letting it slip away. This is where they're really going to be sitting upright in their chairs and taking every moment seriously. They are going to be bringing their A game at the moment. And how Frostfire going to respond is going to be the real question.
Can they respond? That's really what I'm looking for right now. Yeah, no, maybe. Chap going to be able to pick up the two coming out from Deacon, and Subby chimes in with two of his own from Chapman, who pretty much laid waste to that push from Ivy. Now Moxie is all that remains. I don't know whether Devi can see him or not. There must be a smoke in between, or surely he's not just going to be walking. He is walking up behind him right now. Please get that. Oh, he hasn't seen him yet. Oh.
We'll stand now, but Devi just dancing around at the right time. He clears out the corridor. So first round is picked up quite well back on the rifles containing T-Connector. Say for Boot Dreamscape, they're going to have to just slow it down a little bit and start taking a bit more of that B-site control as well to start testing out how Frostfire are going to be playing around the rotations. Also containing that Ivy pressure is going to be really important. We do see Frostfire on Archap as well as Device sometimes go for plays there if they've got the spawns. And for Boot Dreamscape, they can't allow this position to go uncontested. Chapman as well has occasionally gone on a bit of a venture. No, that's coming fast out. Hang on a moment. Where's the defensive utility coming forward? Where are the CTs dropping their flashbangs and smoke grenades? Devi. He's going to go to the higher ground. He knows what's up, but missing a couple of shots. First up, they're able to take down Splashkey though. Impression though, continuing down the green train corridor. Chapman just caught completely unaware at the wrong timing. The CT's boxed in like chickens in a trap.
Fortunately, if they're not careful, they'll be punished as well. It's Moxie who shuts Devi, and Impression now putting in some work. He manages to shut our chap completely up. And that will pretty much be that A bomb site locked down and confirmed. Boot, they bounce back straight away. Say, you know what, Frostfire, you may have been able to go toe-to-toe with us on Nuke, but Train is going to be a different kettle of fish, my friends. Strap yourselves in. We're going for a ride.
This is not a fun ride for Frostfire at the moment. They've just gone, all right, we've just contained this A-site pressure, so we're just going to continue and push. I mean, we're just going to continue and do our standard routine. And the Boot Dreamscape go, all right, we threw that. That didn't really work out. Let's just do it again. Like Boot Dreamscape, this is literally them probably playing really disrespectfully. They're just going, all right, we're going to hit A, works, we're going to hit A. Oh, okay, it didn't work, adapt, we're going to hit A. Don't even go Ivy, just commit out A and just get the headshots. Like I said, on Nuke they were playing like they were the underdog team. They were playing so scared. And now this is them going, why are we scared about Frostfire again? We should be demolishing these guys in a matchup. And they're just coming full out, full force. I have to see how well it goes from them ultimately, because Frostfire still have a couple of plays that they can adapt around.
And this is T side for Boot as well, don't forget that. So when they do head to CT side, this could just be a shutout completely. But Tommy, oh my word, Boot are feeling it right now on this T side, and that's going to be Impression taking the shots through the smoke. They'll trade blows, but eventually Impression will come out on top. And now, of course, with Subby, he's just going to be holding towards Pop Dog. And he's not going to be met with any aggression just yet, but Bulbasaur's not too far away. See as well, they're just... Frostfire so spread out right now. Boot can pretty much do as they please.
Here's the thing, though. Tommy and Impression are quite low as well, so it means that Divide, if he's able to line up a nice angle, the sandwich smoke will fade eventually. If he's able to just chime in and chip away, just like that, beautiful one tap onto Tommy's head, onto the little noggin. It's reset back into a 2-on-3, and you might go, okay, still, it's a numbers advantage, but you look at the HP, it's not really in the advantage of Boot Dreamscape. Impression is just a single bullet away from death. They're still committing out to the A bomb site, and it's all really down to this duel at the moment. With that Bulbasaur, that is a hugely impactful kill for a player who's been relatively missing so far this series.
Yeah, okay. I thought for a second there was going to be a chance. He does find himself pushing out of Z, but...
Even if he gets the deny in the bomb plant, he can't really trade out from there. There's still an AWP train in his angle ready to trade out. Boot Dreamscape, their communication is now on point. Like I said, you take 10 minutes, they take a big deep breathe. Big deep breathe, okay. Big deep breath, they see where they want to go from there, and then they proceed forward. Tactical pause coming out from Frostfire, but this is at a terrible time because they just barely have any cash at all.
Yeah, for me, you know, this is Boot's train. Boot's train. This, well, technically, yes, this is Boot's train. It's their map pick, so definitely needing to step with caution or step to them. Either way, Frostfire gonna have to pick up this performance so far. Boot have just been pretty much flexing this entire map. 7-1, and they're definitely looking the more dominant team. And with no real response at this point, I mean, you just look across the board and still another map where Chapman, and I mean, Subby's now stepping up a little bit more, but...
No, I mean, look, in comparison, right, is that our Chapman, for Divide, the shine is completely worn off at the moment. There's been none of those huge frags, none of those impact rounds. They just come in and just blasted heads off. And you can see now they're not making as many progressive plays, and Train, it is a lot harder to make, I guess, progressive players on the CT side. You can't really take control with pistol like you can crunch lobby, for example. We saw how many times that Frostfire were able to crunch lobby. Seems like they're having a good, decent read of there are some players at B, but Boot Dreamscape might be trying to wrap around through this Ivy position all the way into the B bomb site as well. But look where Divide is. He's behind them at the moment. No one's checked this just yet, and he's just able to get a few cheeky little dinks. Bulbasaur's low is ready. And they're able to deflect at least one arm, get a few AKs.
Why not? If you can force your arm and grab some sort of weaponry, it's better than nothing. And at this point, that is exactly what they're going with. They will actually force their way out on towards Ivy, so that might just catch out Splashkey if he's not looking the right way. Still holding the line, hits the shot on towards Subby. Oh, just going to be able to spot out the shoulder of Chap, rather. And Divine Aman, I mean, why not?
Just save. That's perfectly fine because their money actually isn't that great. Even in the next round, you look at Archap as well as Chapman, they won't have a full belter utility. These two AK is actually critical because Divide then can drop the AK forward and give someone else an AWP. Impression is not really checked over here, so he's eventually going to go down.
Bit of a backstab, but a kill nevertheless. Another $300 on a Frostfire.
Here's the difference, right? Before we see two kinds of games. We see games where, okay, a team's winning by a large margin, but rounds are coming close, so you can see the T side not having much money, and games where the T side stomping. This is the game where the T side is stomping. Look at the money that they have on their side, even though they're losing a couple of rifles in that one. They're not even phased. They can just buy straight back into it and just keep throwing the same thing. And Frostfire, I mean, Divide's not even going for the AWP. They're going to rely on the utility instead. The Olaf, Molly misses.
So that's a punishment that will definitely go unnoticed for Boot anyway. Frostfire, unfortunately, can't make the better of it, but with Impression already pushed out towards Olive, I don't know whether they've still been watching this angle, so I don't think it doesn't make that much of a difference now, but if Impression had have kept pushing... Oh, hang on a second, they've just traded positions. Tubby had no idea where Impression was. And that is a big misstep there, and that's going to be Archap falling into the hands of Moxie, and this is all falling apart here for Frostfire.
100%, and this is just pick by pick. Everyone on Frostfire trying to make individual plays. Boot Dreamscape, they're just holding a lot better this time around. It's falling like dominoes, like you're indicating to me. Thanks for giving me that idea, Rob.
I got you. I gotcha. It's the 200 IQ. It literally was though, wasn't it? It was before I even got to throw it to you. They were just slowly falling like flies.
And here's the thing, right? It's like, okay, they throw an incendiary grenade and go like, yeah, that's our Olaf Molotov, right? I can guarantee you, if I missed that incendiary grenade as a CT, if I was trained to do that, then like my IGL, right? Name of Switch_CSGO, he'd get out the belt and just completely rail it into me. You just go like, why are you missing it? We need that Molotov for a reason on the CT side. And now it's just strolling forward at the moment for B.O.O.T Dreamscape. Frostfire just in the full eco this time around, but it's just everyone is just getting absolutely destroyed. There's just no kills going for Frostfire. Like I was saying, is that the firepower is just melted away. B.O.O.T Dreamscape, they're just an angry little goblin at the stage, especially for Impression because he's pretty short. They're just charging forward and just trying to bash their way through Frostfire's defenses, which is working. AWP comes out, a double AWP comes out. I don't know how well this is going to work out.
I mean, they have to go for something. They can't just continue to roll over because B.O.O.T, not only are they in the driver's... Oh, don't tell me they're going to go and swap it up and go towards B. It looks like that's exactly where they're headed. Impression selling the fake in towards A. That might even cause the early rotate from Imam, which you can see starting to happen. Divide might just get caught out. It's just the backside from Bobasaur that misses. Still going to be pushing out, though. They can find that pick. They're making this look easy right now. Effortless coming in from B.O.O.T. Divide finally finding a response. There we go. Archap going to be hitting back onto Tommy, and now the double AWP setup starts to work, and that is really well played from Divide. Unscopes, finds the angle onto Boba, and again, maybe these are the two players that we need to step up again. Maybe that's what Frostfire need.
100%. They're the ones that look like they're really feeling comfort at their comfort level at this land. So far for Subby, Chapman, as well as Ironman, it looks like they're just trying to settle in. And obviously helps if the other players start fragging up. It's always easier to start committing forward. B.O.O.T Dreamscape going to be slowing things down. Moxie on that long rotate around through T connector, and Impression still got that SL control, so they're going to try and crunch on the A bomb site. But this is where it's really dangerous. You can see Device controlling that corridor from A2. And for the rest of the CTs, they're just on a 2-2 split at this stage. Really powerful, 35 seconds left. B.O.O.T Dreamscape are still going to go for this, but with no smoke, no flashbangs really to play with, except for the single one on Moxie, which is going to use. It's so difficult to get this way into the bomb site.
Unless they find a killer piece straight away, you're looking at the trade at the very least, and then a 2-on-1 towards the end of it. Archap's come across towards Z, and this is near impossible for B.O.O.T at this point. They do find the dink onto Archap. Maybe a little bit of an unlucky stroke for B.O.O.T, but regardless, you've got a whole kudos to Frostfire. Both the AWPs stepping up, finding two apiece. Moxie's going to go aggressive for Archap in. He's... Oh my word! Catch that, Moxie. Archap with a really nice no-scope. And that actually is more crucial than what you could ever imagine because they hold onto that second AWP. If he misses that, not only is it another player that has to completely buy, but also they lose a second scope. And on Train, we know how crucial that is. We know the kind of impact that those AWPers can have. We just saw it in that round. All kills go to the AWPers. The double AWP setup definitely paying off, and the IGL have a big grin on his face this time.
That aggression coming out from Archap doesn't really go rewarded for now, but I like seeing that Frostfire, they're going a little bit more back to their aggressive tendencies and still trying to make things work out. I'm just a heavy believer that they shouldn't be passive players. They've got really strong aimers in terms of Archap and Devi who can try to take the game away with these double AWPs, and they need to get in positions where they can really start nullifying Splash Key, nullifying this A-site take. Out comes the A-site take, and that's what I'm talking about. He just comes in and at least gets two. 2 for 1. What an absolute bargain. And now Impression punishing Omen for missing that spray. Oh, okay, Impression. That's all right. Looking pretty good, just like your haircut there, mate. And now it's all down to Subby, how things turn around. And Moxie's still trained on a incorrect angle.
That's punished, but Subby, he's now going to deal with two that are rotating towards the B site. A nice call coming in from B.O.O.T and fast as well. So they're going to plant for oil side, and that's going to make Subby's life all the much harder. And in towards T-Con, just going to be picking up the AWP, and this might even just be a save.
100%. Look at the money on Frostfire. That's... Then about you, that's pretty much what happens after a Saturday night with the boys.
Oh boy, there is definitely not 4 digits left in my bank account, I can promise you that much. There's no way. Maybe if you divide that by 10, that's what it's looking like.
I was going to say minus it by 5,000. That's pretty much my bank account at this stage. So, yeah, it feels bad. Really solid round coming in from Impression. Definitely impressing me there. I think he's been shredding quite recently as well. So,
Shredding.
yeah, he's been shredding. And you just pointed out that Chapman's currently at 0 kills and 12 deaths, which is unfortunate. Been having a bit of a lackluster series so far, and I know, I want replay at the moment. Repeated these thoughts so many times. Firepower's just not there for Frostfire. They're not firing up. They're cold. They need to be super hot fire. I don't know.
Yep, they're genuinely stale, and you cannot afford to be stale, especially when that is your kind of go-to, right? We know that this is what Frostfire are. We know that they're a hard-hitting squad, and unfortunately they're not firing on the cylinders in which we need them to. Nothing seems to be really giving them any sort of luck, and I think at this point it has to be luck for them, right? They need a moment of just brilliance, a miracle, but it just doesn't seem like they're going to get it.
Bear in mind, though, they still are up 1-0 in this quarterfinal series. This elimination match of a best-of-3. Fire's going to be smoked up, but he's just going to change a bit of grenades as well. But out comes that progressive play through Ivy. Flashbang coming forward, but Tommy does not check that position correctly. It's all going to be so staggered. This is a problem that we saw on Nuke earlier in terms of Boot Dreamscape. It looked like they want to commit for something, but it doesn't really work out. Bulbasaur caught just sleeping at the moment. Chapman is burning quite a bit. And finally, Frostfire might be in a position where they can take a round. 2 coming out from this T-connector. 1 still an Ivy lurking. It's going to be Impression slowly coming forward, but still Chapman gaining the shots. That's his first and second kill, actually. 2 kills as soon as you point out that he's been performing pretty abysmally. And Smashkey, look, might as well just go in. It's 15 seconds. You can save, you can go in and die and give a second walk. I don't know.
I mean, look, if you can take any weaponry away from Frostfire, that's a bad situation, but doesn't make a difference. They will be able to completely buy. Look at that healthy bank account. My goodness. What I would do.
But here's the thing, right? Frostfire, they've struggled to get a couple of these CT rounds. They managed to grab them. What are they going to do with it? They need a 4th one to make things at least doable for things. Just like I was saying for Boot Dreamscape, they were at least... I mean, for Frostfire, they're able to get 5 on the CT side, and we said, look, it's looking dire for them at the moment, or on their T side, sorry, when they're switching over to the CT side and Nuke. But you can make things work out as long as you got a little bit more breathing space in.
It's definitely what's needed at this point,
Yeah, I mean, Train is definitely a map where they can go in with the fragging power again and see how well they can step up. I'm in starter stepping it. Don't know if you want to be starter stepping that, mate, because you've had to give up access to the B bomb site until Divide just casually drops down, crouches. It's not leg day, but he just makes it look so easy. He's just squatting all over before Splashkey. He decides that a good balanced approach is going to be much better, and Impression has already identified the position in the last one. So Chapman, yeah, you're not going in there, mate. There's going to be a grenade.
Do it.
Airstrike. No, he just died to the Molotov.
I mean, you may as well, right?
What are you going to do there as Chapman? It's like, it's the worst situation. You're in 7 HP. Don't want to go in. Here's the equivalent, right? Summer holidays. Ready to go out. Nice at the beach. It's not too boiling hot, you know. Ready to go out, and then your mum just goes, going to have to get you to tidy up your room.
Oh, not the tidy the room.
Don't want to do it. But you have to.
Oh,
you drag kicking and screaming. You have resigned to your fate.
You can't argue with Mama.
No, you cannot.
The amount of times I've heard you need to tidy your room right as I'm about to do something, and it's like, no. I feel as though that's the perfect way to put to put that one situation. Poor Chapman. He's not having the greatest of games, and it doesn't seem to be continuing that way. They do finally find the first frag, but Moxie's so fast to respond. It doesn't matter whether Moxie can't hit that second shot. He does anyway, but Tommy's there. It shuts down everything towards Ivy. There's only 2 remaining for Frostfire, and make that one Splashkey as well, ripping off the head of Devi. They're all taps, and Moxie finds 3. What is going on?
Yeah, look, not bad angles to be holding with the USP, making it look pretty easy at the end of the day. And Frostfire are going to have to be forcing up here. We're going to see those old Desert Eagles coming out. They're going to have to be wielding it. If there's one thing they can, I guess, take for granted is that Boot Dreamscape so far have been looking pretty lackluster against these Force Buys. So, a chance. Slimmer chance. Ooh. But not if Splash is just coming in, just going, yeah, this is what happens to your chance. You got shot in the head!
You want a haircut?
Free haircuts.
You can come to Splashkey's barbershop. We give free haircuts all day long. With a scout, that is. We don't even need that AWP no more. Just give me whatever you got, and we're going to be taking it. So, too, Boot, they are really just turning up the heat in this second map. They are leaving nothing to the imagination. Tommy picks one out of the sky, finds the second, can't find the third, but Impression's there to save the day. And all 4 just walk directly into the meat grinder. Oh, how the cliches come back around.
So what's the third map?
The third map is Mirage.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting one if Frostfire can bring the fire, because as we're saying, they are frosty at the moment. And I'm not talking about the ho-ho-ho one, I'm talking about the, oh, it's actually freezing at the moment. And I'm not liking the looks of it. They're still forcing up. I don't really blame them at this stage. They need to try to get any rounds, any confidence back. Maybe make a few random plays and try to just duel it out against the members. And that's the first one, right? You take the first duel, but Splashkey is still nailing you through the edge of a wall. That's kind of cool.
I told you, he's here for the haircuts, and he's not going to stop. Oh, Foxy didn't expect the push from the left side, and Splashkey's been caught out as well, but eventually realigns the crosshair onto the head of Archap, and that's not what you want to see if you're Frostfire right now. Impression finds 2 from behind. Kobe! Oh, no! Oh, it's so close.
Oh, he drops
so
the incendiary
far.
grenade, forces Chapman to drop away, and Chapman, you can't be running away. That's some smart utility usage coming out from Singapore's best-looking eligible bachelor, as far as I'm concerned. Fair description, I'd say.
I definitely think that that's a fair way of putting it.
He's got a good looks. Good mama's boy.
These are good-looking roosters, I'll tell you that much. But it's all about the mama's boy, you know? You got to show the love to your mama.
And here comes map point for Boot Dreamscape. I mean, normally we'd be harping on that they're bringing it back, but really train has been a one-sided affair.
I don't even know if I can say that the rounds that Frostfire have won have been on the back of some good plays.
They have. Let's give Frostfire the fact that, okay, they've been able to have a couple of CT rounds where they were able to hold on and they were able to get the crossfires set up and they're able to get multi-frags. But you can see they don't have the system that allows them to consistently do it. As soon as the players aren't individually fragging, they fall apart. And then it's the opportunity for Boot Dreamscape to come out, and they're the ones that are hitting their shots, and then there is nothing that you can really do in Frostfire because individually they haven't really stepped up to the same level, the same par. And such is a game like Counter-Strike. The nature is quite inconsistent.
Sometimes it's not all just about the skill, is it? You can't just have the raw power. Sometimes it gets you through.
Yeah, I mean, Frostfire, you had Divide dropping 35, and then Chapman not Chapman, sorry, Archap dropping maybe about a 26, 27, and it was still a 16-14 when you look at it that way. Sure, it's an exciting upset, but at the end of the day, it's still maybe not enough, but out come the rest of the Deagle shots. Splashkey trying to reposition, missing a pretty easy and open season right now. Where's the bomb plant going down? Chapman, stop peeking, mate. All right, finally the plant's going down here, but people are still peeking in. This is the ill discipline coming in. And now Devi. He's going to have to go full Devi. But there is going to be no Devi.
No
16 to 3.
There's no Devi, no money, no hope.
Just for this map so far. So the series is going to be split 1-1 apiece between both sides. We are jumping in the Mirage as our decider. We'll be back after the break.
Beats like the drum in the deep, and the water from around slowly weeps. Like your eyes, cold as ice, dead as the dark. Was our love after all just a watermark in the frozen lake that reflected? I was suddenly disconnected. Now the darkness is approaching, flooding in my tears. My heart is choking. Gonna take some time, but I will prove I'm stronger. The devil's gonna hold, try to pull me under tonight. Make a fire, put away my tears. Gonna creep out those wasted years. Those wasted years.
The best audio setting is the one you're comfortable with, so you can act and react anytime. Intuitive touch panel for treble and bass adjustment. With driverless design, you just plug and play. Everyone grips the mouse differently, so how can one mouse work for all? Different sizes and shapes for your options. Pick the one that fits your grip for long-lasting comfort and gameplay. With driverless design, you just plug and play.
As far as I know, everyone on the team who has tried the new screen from BenQ is using the feature with 240 Hz. It's so amazing, the transition is so great.
I think for me the most important when I play the game is that I feel that all my actions directly represented on the monitor. This is just another level on top of that, I would say.
It improves your gameplay a lot. You can react much faster on these kinds of minders, and like once you play on 240 Hz, you can't go back.
Personalize the way you see everything, and then conquer. Exclusive Black Equalizer brightens dark scenes without overexposing bright areas. Use the S-switch to quickly access the setting and switch between save modes. Adjust the angle effortlessly for maximum comfort.
Hello everyone and welcome back, and we're into the final map between B.O.O.T, Dreamscape as well as Frostfire. It's all boiling down to Mirage at the moment. A close affair on Nuke followed by a curb stomp on Train. Mirage needs to be a lot better from Frostfire, especially if B.O.O.T, Dreamscape are bringing the form. Both sides have been pretty lackluster so far in each opponent's map victory, but this is their final chance that they have to show us what they have. One team is going to be knocked out. I mean, they won't be put on the flight straight back home.
Not straight away.
No.
They'll get to watch the final tomorrow from the rafters. Oh, Chapman finding the first as he moves on towards B. It's going to be Splashkey to hold the line, taking down Aman. Now 2 more, 3 more making their way from short, but Splashkey putting in the work. Unfortunately, he completely just isolated these players from Frostfire, and they've got nothing to show for it. Only 1 player remains, Devi on the lurk. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean
that's unexpected.
That's not a lurk. That's a hard bait. I'm gonna call it that. Lurking is you're coming in through checkers at the same time your teammates are coming in to catch them off timing, but you're coming in about a minute afterwards. Your teammates all dead. B.O.O.T, Dreamscape, they're just going, I wonder where this Devi kid's gonna be at. He's been coming from behind a couple of times, and eventually the radar's gonna start pinging and going, oh, actually, he's gonna be coming in from the market area. And look how disciplined B.O.O.T Dreamscape are playing. They're not even giving any space right now for Devi to be pushing his way in.
Yeah, they're just playing the little switch and bait and switch, whichever way you want to look at it. They pull out the first round, and convincingly as well. Splashkey coming out on top with a monstrous 3K. Shutting down that one from Apps, and then basically it was just free pickings from the players pushing on toward the side.
I mean, I'm not looking at what I'm seeing at the moment, because Splashkey's able to get that one, and you got 3 people pushing up from short who are just not. The communication's not there. Where are the trades? Where is the turn of the attention going like, what was that noise? Where do you get killed from? So a force bar is coming out from Frostfire, can still do damage, but if this continues in the same fashion that Train did, and it is going to be starting to look pretty scary for Frostfire. They need their players to start stepping up, and you're going to be looking at your players like Chapman, Subby, as well as Iman, because they just haven't been able to do any damage so far. Chap and Devi have been pretty tight on Nuke. It wasn't so great for them on Train. It wasn't great for anyone on Train at the end of the day.
No, it's pretty rough across the board for Frostfire. So too, this round will more than likely be just Deagles and Armor. 1 Tech 9 to supplement a bit of a push, but as you can see, just spread out in a bit of a default fashion. Could either be a mid to B or a mid to A. There's no real set in stone at the moment, but with Chapman now joining Subby from the underpass area, you would have to say it's going to be a pinch on towards the A side. Oh, Tommy's going to be caught out there and punished as well. Subby just hitting the shot before he makes his way back in towards Connector. And now Impression, he has to be forced to back away a little bit. He does take the dink on towards a Chap, and that will be the information. They are going to pour on through Connector, but it might be Splashkey that can play from behind. He's going to be making his way fast from underpass, but is it going to be too slow? Oh, Chapman ripping the head off of Impression, shooting again just in case. And it's going to be B.O.O.T who can't do anything, but still, Moxie, he will be able to drop the bomb. That's just about it. Surely he can't be asked to do too much more. He will be able to find a Chap. But with 3 to 4, oh, this could be really, oh, I don't mind that.
That's actually a really good move coming in from Frostfire, and that's a pretty good turnaround as well. They're just keeping him boxed in. They're not giving any opportunities away for Moxie to be picking anyone through the edge of the smoke. And man, the Deagles just come out firing a pick a piece, and they just keep rolling forward, and they make it look good. Chapman. We were talking about him needing to step up. His Train game was absolutely abysmal, and that is a much better start. He's got more kills on Mirage than he ever did on Train, so...
It's not painting the nicest of pictures there, is it, for how Train went?
No, I mean, that was a realistic picture, and...
Oh, it's the true picture.
It's a true picture, and if they're able to make it work out better this time around, then all the power to them. Now they're committing to fast B bomb site. I don't know what to make of this, because Bulbasaur, there's a lot of members over here at the moment, and all the Deagles are chiming in, and Moxie's got the scout as well. They've walked straight into 3 people on the B bomb site. Now the rotations are still coming across. They've jumped the gun a little bit there, and Splashkey, he's just repaying the favor a little bit. There's a couple of 1Ds going his way, and Frostfire, they're trying to change up the tempo. Ill advised, though. B.O.O.T Dreamscape, they just throw it right back in their faces.
Yeah, some backhands coming from both teams now. The Deegs are doing the work, but they're going to go for a couple of Superman AKs at the moment. Frostfire pick up 2 AKs to supplement some pistols and some armor. So that could still do some serious damage. Surely we're not going to continue this trade of rounds that we've seen thus far, but hey, stranger things have happened, my friend, and stranger things will probably continue to happen. At the moment, they're all stacked up in towards B and mid, so maybe an early round push towards B. Maybe they're just going to sit default and wait for these players to push. At this point, the only thing that's set in stone is that Chapman is trying to make something work through the smoke. He's not going to be able to find anything, however, and so with that, B.O.O.T now know that there's an AK. And I don't really know whether that's the smartest decision to make. Sometimes maybe it would be better just to shoot the Deagles off, so with nothing, with no other information, surely that would be the better choice.
That's when you're looking at the really, really solid teams. You're talking about your NA Pro League teams and everything. And this is, I mean, this is not the same level of tier. At the end of the day, Frostfight, they're no Ghost Gaming. They're no, I mean, dare I even say, Complexity.
Oh, what?
Word.exe, what a snap.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Splashkey, what a shot. The flash will come through for Bulbasaur just to check towards Apps, but at the moment, Moxie and Chapman, I believe it is, just back to back. They're going to be able to eventually find each other. Chapman comes out on top, but Tommy, he's going to be able to shut down that bomb. This isn't good. He swings wide on towards Chapman, but Archap, he will find the quick and prompt response needed as well, but impression coming through from CT. It's actually Bulbasaur that could stop this push coming back through. He will be able to find the head of Archap. That slows things down significantly, and Devi takes a massive whopping. No armor and no hope for
He's picked up one of the shots that he's needed so far. He's just going to tap it, trying to draw impression out, and Devi lands the shot, draws impression out, and that is the impact that they need from Frostfire. Huge shots coming out just when he needs it. The time's ticking away, the pressure's on, but he is cool as a cucumber in a Nazi Lamarck.
That is absolutely absurd. Balls of steel, be it. Devi, massive 2 digs. He had no armor. He had less than 10 HP. He fakes the bomb plant with less than 4 seconds left on the clock, and then has the confidence to peek that. 2 dirty digs.
Here's the whole thing at the end of the day. Sometimes you just need to make a big dick play, and that's just pretty much a big dick play. You just have to. You just got to go on balls deep sometimes, and that's exactly what happened for Devi.
Look at that. Dirty digs done for free. Doesn't even need to plant the bomb at this point.
And look, there's a philosophy, right? At the end of the day, you don't need more than 1 HP to get the job done. Clearly the philosophy that Devi subscribes to, and it's just going to be reset back and forth. I mean, it's still decent money on some of the players on B.O.O.T Dreamscape, but they're not going to be forcing up. And this is looking like it's a pretty tight affair now.
Oof. Still losing it over that, I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to drag me away from that anytime soon.
It's all right. It's a pretty good shot.
That's no. That's a filthy. Don't even try and downplay that. That is a filthy play. A 2v1. My man's putting in the work. Devi, considering the way that Frostfire were able to perform on Drain, the mental fortitude to pull that one back and muscle them out of that round, that is absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, you can say mental fortitude. I can also say lack of the ability to know fear as well, and that's one thing that can play in their favor. So this time around, just slowly starting to clear things out. So this is going to be a very clean round, hopefully, for them. Splashkey still gets 2, but I mean, it doesn't really matter much. They know where the last CT is going to be. They can take the bomb over to the B bomb site, 1 on 2. Still not favorable for Moxie.
No, he finds himself in a less desirable area of the map. Chapman, he's going to play gatekeeper for Rat Hole. And so Moxie, he makes the right call here. Picks up the MAC-10 and the Molotov, just walks away from it. Nicely done for Frostfire to get the read on that directly into the bomb site. Bomb down, and that will definitely have to be Moxie just saying, yeah, nah. Nah, yeah, I'm good. Thanks, mate. Don't really need to contest that right now. And the trading of rounds is just ridiculous right now.
Starting to get a little bit late here for both sides, so they both peaked. One peaked on Nuke, one peaked on Train. Now how's it going to go on Mirage? I wouldn't even say that Frostfire's really peaked at this stage.
So now that they have actually genuinely been trading the dirty digs. Oh man, really? Oh, actually, Moxie comes out on top, but can't. Oh, no way!
He actually gets away with the AK-47.
Oh.
That's big. That is actually huge because now Boot Dreamscape Impression had to go for broke mode just then, and now Moxie can do him a huge favor and drop over an AK-47. They've actually directly invested into a double up very early on for Boot Dreamscape. They need to make this work out and keep it up for quite a while. If they don't do that, Frostfire can make it costly, and we've already got 2 in Palace ready to shut down some early aggression, so they were aware of the fact that Splashkey does like going aggressive early on at Palace. Chapman as well, applying some pressure over at B.O.O.T-d. Frostfire definitely making the right moves against this double AWP setup, but how they're going to go in the mid round is really going to be determined by how they're going to group up and take this mid area, I feel like. Don't think they can just blindly attack a bomb site at the moment and execute. They really have to be leveraging this short position and window position.
For me, there's a chance for Frostfire to just bait out some utility from Boot. You can see, of course, it's starting to just lose its own value as Tommy and Splashkey both going to be delivering the last 2, but it won't matter. Splashkey will remove a chap from the server. And now Boot can just play for this. They don't even have to go aggressive for any more peaks. I'm sure they will because it's Splashkey, and why not? And you've got the double AWP set up, so just do it. But that's the punishment. That's the reason why. And so now Frostfire, they're given a chance. They're given a way back into this. And not only that, Chapman can upgrade if he decides to do so.
This is the exact right play to be making, though. They've gone, all right, Splashkey's got the AWP, but they don't know Tommy has a secondary AWP, so this could be actually quite punishing at the moment. Bomb's been revealed. There's no way to really push him out of this position. Time is starting to tick away as well. They have to commit eventually, and Tommy is still committing on the back of the flashbang. It's a good pop flash from Subby, and now all the CTs are starting to rotate over the B. It's only a single anchor here, and that is a flick and a half coming in from Subby. That's opening up the A bomb site, and now it's going to be a 2-on-2. Boot Dreamscape, it's a difficult rotate for them to make as well. Especially with Subby close in at CT. And I was saying that some of these other players needed to step up.
Oh, this is really dangerous.
Nah, it's all right. Your boy Devi's covering it.
I know, but look at the HP of Subby. If he comes through the close angle of the smoke, he's going to have to shoot through Subby. And
that's fine.
With that, I'm playing for Bulbasaur right now. Surely he's going to be able to make this work. We like to paint a good picture here.
Boy, you're fooling yourself if you think that you can get past your boy Devi, but what a huge... I mean, Frostfire, Ivan hasn't even got any kills so far, and they're still ahead 4-2 because they come down to these clutch situations. They seem to be making these correct mid-game plays. They're really playing, once again, some solid Counter-Strike on the back of some of these individuals hitting some ridiculous shots and opening up the sights. And Boot Dreamscape, another eco, another bunch of Deagles coming out and pistols.
Just some bullets exchanged in towards Palace there. It leads to nothing, however. Chapman will hit the shot on a Tommy. And Frostfire are bouncing back with a bit of a vengeance from map number 2. This is exactly what we needed to see. Obviously, Train, it has a completely different dynamic to Mirage and is obviously played at a different rate, a different percentage at which Mirage is, but still, I feel as though that was possibly an outcome that Frostfire could have maybe prevented. I'm talking about a 16-3, a stomp that is. Especially with the way that they're being able to pull this back and start to kind of show exactly what we saw in map 1, which was just their raw aim, right? We know who they are, we know what they do, and unfortunately just went a little bit missing in map number 2. So picking it up from the 3rd, and this is the map to be doing it on, that's for sure. Impression, he might just be hidden enough there, and that's gonna be our chap thinking that it's free. So Impression will find an easy kill, but that'll be the B bomb site done and dusted.
They're just scouts, and they just go. What a strategy coming in from Frostfire. They go, all right, anyone with an alias starting with A, you're going A and making sure it's clean, and then the rest of the boys are going B. Can't really fault that. How much is... I've been sitting in 3.1 ADR. He's got his first kill! Yes!
Let's do it, baby. Happy about that, that's for sure. A much needed kill to save him from becoming quite the secret agent. No more. Impression and Moxie. Moxie will definitely just be holding on to this AK. I mean, Impression can definitely go for a somewhat of an exit, and he is holding that line from short. And with the deagles that we've seen so far, you knew it was coming. There was no question he was going to hit that. Literally just trading deagle shots. And he'll pick up the AK as well. The best of both worlds for Impression there. I know you quite like him.
Yeah, but he needs to be fragging a lot more on the side of B.O.O.T Dreamscape. I'm not going to lie at this stage, is that Frostfire, they're showing up. They're looking all right. I wouldn't say that exceptional. They seem to be making a lot of either lucky or good mid-game calls, backed up by the fact that they're starting to get a couple of impact frags on the players, like Subby, for example, coming into the A site, getting that flick shot into Impression, then rolling into CT, and then Divide coming in the deagle. It's got them maybe 2 or 3 clutch rounds, and they're making the most of them at this stage. We see a lot of teams get the clutch rounds, they don't make the most of it.
Definitely not making the most of this so far. Not the time that they've spent already. They're actually just trading blows across towards the B bomb site, favouring Tommy, but Subby comes in for the trade, and unfortunately, Tommy thought it was free, thought he had the opportunity to let go of the smoke, but that's the kind of punishment. These are the small mistakes, the tiny, minute things that can start to kind of steamroll your team in terms of mentality. So.
And it's very difficult to play the CT side without utility as well. Frostfire, every single time Chapman's actually coming in here, he's burning a lot of the CT utility on the B side earlier on, and this is going to mean Frostfire's pretty confident in coming in, strolling forward. The question is if they're going to check where Bobasaur is going to be. Bobasaur is sitting at that close bench position, and Smashki's had to rotate across into that market area. Subby doesn't check it. Bobasaur holding his fire for now. He's going to let a few of them out. He's going to try and hold the superior position and then try to knock them down. There you have it, but Eamon is just on point right now. It looks like he's able to get a few shots. Splashkey flicking it onto Subby. He's at least able to nullify one of the angles. CT is now going to be on the rotate as Frostfire trying to set up between Iman as well as Archap.
Gonna have to be quite a strong hold with no utility to supplement it at all. They wait for the smoke to dissipate. They start to push on out. Haven't seen any of the players yet. That's going to be a man falling down. An Impression making light work of both members. From Frostfire, they're bouncing back. We seem to be having some sort of tech issue. Fair enough, Tommy. Sometimes you just got to say it as it is.
So another tech pause, but it should be fixed quite quickly as well for B.O.O.T Dreamscape. Frostfire, unfortunately, that round doesn't really work out for them. They still get the 1-for-1 trade on Bobasaur, but Smashki's able to get one of the kills, nullifying that pressure, and that just trades back in their favor at the end. A little bit of cash for Frostfire to work with in terms of, they have a decent amount of the majority of their players. Archap is the only one who doesn't really have that bank to be rolling forward in terms of the buy. For B.O.O.T Dreamscape do have quite a lot on Tommy as well as Impression.
With money like that, you could have a decent night out, I reckon. However, for Frostfire, it's not so much. No, actually, it's kind of the similar storyline. B.O.O.T are going to be strapped for money. With that slow and inevitable deck balls. We love it. Absolutely love it. But we've had a couple of problems with TeamSpeak so far in this this tournament. Seems to be apart from a certain issue, just seems to be the main point of all tech pauses.
I don't know, that's like really weird on how they have TeamSpeak issues. This is just coming personally from running TeamSpeak servers. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not a tech expert. Could be a bunch of different issues with TeamSpeak, which there are a lot of problems. I've encountered so many weird bugs with TeamSpeak before. It doesn't work sometimes on a specific platform. Admin's going to take the time and sort it out, which is fair enough. You don't need rushing into a temporary fix. You've got time right now. Both sides want to be playing their best Counter-Strike. They don't want to be going, yep, something broke, and I couldn't play my best shooty thing.
That's a good point. I couldn't tap on the heads because of the small TeamSpeak issue. There's always a world in which that does affect the aim.
It's communication, because you need to be having this crystal clear clarity in terms of where to be trading things out.
That is some god tier analysis.
In terms of what?
TeamSpeak and communication.
I mean, there's different ways as well, because it's not just in terms of using a program and talking about it, but it's also about how you condense the information, how well that you can concisely convey it so your teammates react around it, and making sure there's not too much chatter inside the communication channels as well. It's very easy to go, all right, I'm calling everything. Oh, he's flashing out A. Oh, they're taking mid. But you can get overloaded sometimes with information and you just tune out, because 3 people are talking and then there's a 4th person on the team who's just always talking some random crap as well. And you just go, okay, I need the 4th person to shut up. A lot of this information is superfluous, so I don't really need to hear this. And that is really where the key of some of these top tier teams come from. The communication channels are clear. So I know you're trying to meme me at this stage, but the communication is...
I was just saying with TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
That's generally the point of TeamSpeak.
But this is what I mean by it is actually quite important for a lot of these teams to actually have these issues resolved, because they need to make sure it is high pressure situation. They want to be communicating clearly how many people are hitting the site, where the rotations are going, and how you can trade each other out efficiently. Now we're into this once again. It was a bit of a tech pause.
Well, we'll see whether that does have any impact, and maybe it'll come together for a bit more of a fluid... Oh, okay, well, literally, as I'm starting to explain, the hopefulness of the TeamSpeak problems coming to an end. Molotov and a smoke get thrown directly into snipers. They cancel each other out, and they just put up a wall of blurred vision. So, nice 1-3-1 split for Frostfire at the moment. Nice and simple. Default, of course, allows you so much room to breathe, making sure that you're not really being pushed. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone towards A main, and if B.O.O.T were to...
This is the problem, right? You look at the utility left from Frostfire. I was going to commend them and going, okay, they've used their smokes and making sure they've gotten into mid. Chapman's dropped his earlier on to make sure the CTs get a little bit unsettled, but they haven't done anything with it. You can see the CTs, they're going progressive. They're trying to find information. They know there's 40 seconds left. Where are the T's going to be? With that, okay, no one in B apps. It can only be A ramp and connector at the moment, and the CTs you can see are trying to swing around the right way. Impression can't land the shots, and there's much better entries coming out from Frostfire. Now Splashkey, he is always a lethal threat at the moment, but he's slowly being wrapped around from the other side, but he just single-handedly takes down this A site take, and you still have to cross into another AWP, and Tommy, it's just a double AWP setup that really did the damage there for the CT side. Bobasaur, that's not an AK, but with that little bit of extra time, he's able to pick up that second AWP. Don't think he'd be allowed to do that in any other tournament, but whatever.
Meh, you take what you can get. Definitely using it to full effect. They do pick up that double AWP setup again, but supplemented with 2 UMPs. And when you see the buy of Frostfire, you can understand why. Still, however, we have seen the double AWP setup be so prominent in the past couple of matches, but fast out onto the waterfall. See you later. Splashkey lines up too, and Moxie will come in with the cleanup. The grenade was what slowed them down initially. Splashkey's allowed to take a free shot with a lineup, and they literally line up for the double, not the double AWP, just the single AWP with the 2-for-1 special. Buy one, get one free.
Splashkey is actually sitting on 15 kills at the moment, which is pretty absurd at this stage. And for Frostfire, it's a question of how to nullify the AWP. They're using a lot of utility to just try to get control of it. Splashkey, it's going to be flashed off, but still manages to land a shot. It just looks like he's not missing at this stage. Really reminiscent of Divide at the moment. Look at all this utility that's just been used from Frostfire, right? They are making their way into the A bomb site, though, which is really good.
Well, Impression hasn't actually been spotted out yet, but Chap will swing wide onto him now. It's Splashkey to hit another flick. This man is the DJ Khaled of the AWP. He's just finding one after another. Devi, however, will be able to trade out onto Moxie. Just takes his time to think, maybe I just say hello. Give a friendly little handshake, but no, not this time. Frostfire, 2 players left to try and make this work. The double AWP setup still prominent. And this round with B.O.O.T-d, he is on that UMP, making his kind of side-by-side Batman and Robin version with Splashkey at the moment in towards CT. So the bomb will be placed down eventually. They don't really have any utility to be kind of risking an open plant, so they will have to make sure all angles are covered, but they're just taking their time at this point.
It's not good they're making noise near stairs around with 35 seconds left. B.O.O.T-d's going to be able to hear this, and he's going to go, all right, they're still around connector somewhere, and that's going to allow the rest of the players to position accordingly. 20 seconds left. They're going to be committing up short into the B-bomb site. Instead, Tommy is going to be pushing into apartments because he's got the information that they can only be in one sector. He's going to be able to hear this. As long as he doesn't scope in until the last moment, he can pretty much just shut this down single-handedly. There it is. He's got the leg shot, just needs to hide, but he's just trying to take too many shots he doesn't need to. Grenades coming out.
Oh, grenades are pretty much pin perfect, rather. Main can find one. Now has to find Splashkey. He's on the 3K. He's going to make this work. Oh, the timing now. He knows where he is. Pushing back around the pillars. It's basically a game of cat and mouse. Finding the slow walk. Will he be able to hit the shot? My word, that would have pulled out some sort of reaction from Splashkey to hit that. And so far, it's just back and forth, to and fro. Just trading rounds left, right, and center. And this is what we kind of wanted for map number 3, right? We didn't want to roll over a stomp as we saw in map number 2. We wanted to see the close end to what is our 4th quarterfinal of the night and our last quarterfinal, actually, in the tournament.
And Iman's just stepped it up. May not sound like a lot in terms of his 6 kills and 9 deaths so far, but he did start off with 0 kills and 6 deaths, and these last couple of rounds, he's been the one that's getting the entries as well as the clutch kills when it's needed, and that's so important to have. It's all good getting kills whenever the enemy is trying to save and whatnot, but when you're the one that's actively opening up the site, you're taking the one-on-one victories against someone like Splashkey, who is just coming up in the moment. He's just angry he lost one aim deal like that. He's just going to keep going forward and still try to take these aim deals and slow down the progressive rate of Frostfire taking this map control.
Oh, that's a nice shot from Moxie. Cheeky little shoulder peek actually finds him a kill. And now Frostfire have to try and deal with this round with 3 players. They do have quite a lot of utility to make this work. The smoke, I believe, might have just been a bit of a fake across towards A. You can see still the line. But maybe even some more in towards middle. They're just burning through their own utility at this point. You can see the smoke going high on towards the B side. I believe that will be for either window or market door, but the utility's being used and nothing's coming of it. Moxie's going to be able to isolate Subby there and maybe even the second in towards top middle, but Frostfire have just been second-guessing themselves.
This is a save round from Frostfire. You might as well cancel that. As soon as Moxie's taking up the underpass play, there's nowhere that you can really go. B-side's locked down, mid's locked down. You can't really progress forward. This is just really down to this presence of Splashkey at the moment. He's actually playing phenomenal out of his mind, where he's just getting the opening pick time after time. You're really scared of Frostfire entering in. It was like watching Divine nuke, right? It was just time after time, Divine was getting all these kills. And now it's the same for Splashkey. He's getting all these kills. You're so scared of running into an angle. You're using a lot of smokes. But then Frostfire hit a wall in terms of the smokes. They don't know where to go from there. It's been 12 rounds, and Splashkey's already nearly dropping a 20. Like, that is just absurd. And of course the question is going to be, imagine if B.O.O.T Dreamscape didn't have Splashkey finally reaching the form that we know he can hit coming into the final map, because the scoreline is still tied 6 apiece. It's not as if B.O.O.T Dreamscape are just completely stomping Frostfire. This is really close.
And it has just been literally just traded rounds. Back and forth, you know, to start with, we had almost 4 rounds just back to back on those forced buys. The dirty digs, as I commented on with Devi. And Subby with the Glock. That would take some sort of shot. Unfortunately, the accuracy and the range does not favor him in that one single case. However, the grenade will catch the bottom of his foot. Still with the weaponry that were taken from that last round. There could still be some damage done to the economy of B.O.O.T, but it's going to be hard to isolate these players right now.
Have to rely on the firepower for Frostfire on the back of this orb, as well as the AK. Pretty much most of the utilities already burnt away, and Tommy, he's going to back away. He has to concede the short position. Ladder has been taken from Frostfire without taking too much damage, which is good, but you can see defensive utilities slowly being used from the CT side. Moxie still staying hidden. Tommy, not a good HE grenade.
He's on that new level. Well, they're going to hit on towards short at the moment. Tommy, his attention is relatively taken away for a second. That almost allowed for some sort of tomfoolery. They do still tap away, and still the weaponry is last in for Frostfire. Still not being subbed out yet. 4 players, 2 on towards that site and 1 in underpasses. They just go straight towards A right now. They could possibly isolate, but Moxie holding that line makes it near impossible. Still, the damage was done, but no kill confirmed. Devi, the last to remain, 5 seconds. Is he better to save, or is he better just to die? He's already missed the first shot. They're going to wait for the time, and this is not good at all coming in for Devi. He hits the shot, and with no one close enough to try and use Tommy's shot to bait out that reload time, a little bit unfortunate.
You can call it unfortunate and whatnot, but B.O.O.T Dreamscape, I mean, they may start regretting the fact that they let Devi live if he's able to make this impact felt on the orb, but it still has to be another eco from Frostfire. Buying maybe just a few basic pistols to support this. He's going to be going fast for the mid pick. Oh, a good spawn for it, but you're going up against Smashkey. Tommy as well, just picked off immediately. Smashkey gets the window jump across, but that's not a favorable trade at the end of the day. Devi's still free to roam around and try to get another pick across another sector of the map. And the Deagles are out as well. And Chapman, this Deagle is always just so lethal. Out comes the B-bust. Only Smashkey going to be here. No, they're actually cancelling.
Interesting. Well, they would have been met at the end of the scope of Splashkey, and the way that he's been performing so far, that's the last person you want to run into. So maybe that might have been the only call that slowed that down just then. It's kind of like, no, we know who's going to be there. Slow it down. Let's try and isolate one more member from Boot. Let's bring it into a more of a 4-on-2 situation, and regardless of whether we have the weaponry to fight it, it doesn't make a difference. But at the moment, you can see Impression now making his way back from A main. They now know that they're in towards middle. Moxie securing that kill. It now leaves doubt into the mind of the Frostfire players. They're going to be wrapping across towards B from short, and Splashkey getting caught out, and he still hits the leg shot. How is he still managing to do this? Now a double orb set up in an M4 to run on towards this bomb site. The bomb will be placed, but still coming in from behind Impression. He could cause all sorts right now.
Bomb's not planted for short, which is going to be a big issue considering where Chapman's going to be placing himself. Hyman's also quite low as well in Impression. That is a strike to be making at this stage. Also dropping a bit more utility to make sure Devi is going to be quite uncomfortable. Impression, he's the one hitting on so many of these shots at the moment. There's only one man that Singapore needs at the moment. That's the best looking one.
Splashkey.
No, Impression.
The bandwagon, Impression.
Frostfire still managed to get the bomb plant down. They will be able to buy up into the final round of the half. And, I mean, even with Smashkey dropping a 20, B.O.O.T Dreamscape are barely ahead at this stage. And all things still left in the balance at the end.
Tip of a knife. Basically, that's all that's in it. And they do actually look to execute fast on towards this A site, so this is going to be interesting right now. How can Moxie hold this? He does have the support of Impression, and this might be the first time we've actually seen a bit of an execution onto the A site, but they're going to go with it right now. Pushing on out, it's leading the charge. Moxie's going to have to try and hold on, but can't do anything. The smoke is good enough to keep him at bay for now, so too it pushes Impression off the angle of just the slightest amount, but this is going to be a shot through the smoke. Doesn't have to be. Tommy, he finds the angle, hits the shot. And now with the post-plant situation, a 4 versus 5 unfolds.
Man, I'm just looking at the utility Frostfire still have left. It's barely anything, and you can see Impression. He's just playing the counter flash. That's it, last utility. B.O.O.T Dreamscape going to be dropping their utility as well, and Iman has to go aggressive to try to take a few frags, but once again, it's Impression getting the M4 kills across. The rest of the players trying to keep their heads down, but there's still so many incendiary grenades for them to work with. And now Subby, he's in a one-and-done position, and Chapman locked behind a smoke, trying to spray desperately to try to get the kills, but Impression, Chapman tapping away, doing his best, but it's just too many CTs to try to take down. So 9-6 is going to be the halftime score, barely favorable for B.O.O.T Dreamscape.
I mean, you just look at the kills and you think, no way. No way is that the scoreline at the end of the half. Like, literally, and that could have even gone the way of Frostfire then, but it doesn't. And they do end up with a 3-round lead. However, of course, knowing the 9-6 lead, all it takes is for Frostfire to lock down the second round. Actually, having said that, the way that these force buys are being going, the way that these pistols are being bought up, it leaves so much to the imagination. There's so much damage for Frostfire to be able to inflict, even if they lose this round. So the USPs, of course, will be able to tap away. It looks as though 2 players heading across towards B might be selling the fake. No, they're just going to head towards underpass. And maybe some utility to be thrown. Give them a little bit of a shimmy, but regardless, the stacks across towards B. This does not favour Frostfire at all.
Devi's still here, though, and you can never really count out this man as well. He's been pretty quiet. They're going to fake into the B bomb site. Omen taking a few shots before he's assigned to fall back. It's just going to be a 2-man commit, and that's it. That's the B site commit taken care of, and Devi now is hearing all of this, and there you have it. Devi, he just headshots every single one of them until Bulbasaur decides to get the bomb plant down, so at least the T side have a bit more cash, but so many people to find at the moment.
I actually think this still will favour Frostfire even with that bomb plant. As you almost know for a fact they won't be forcing into the second, so that will bring it back to an 8-9 scoreline, but still there's damage yet to be done. He swaps out for the USB. He's got all 4 players to find. Chapman, well, this is much, much better from the gentleman who was all but elusive on map number 2.
And this is Frostfire now. The other individuals are starting to put in the same effort as well. So you've got Omen on the T side, a lot of impact frags. You have Subby, who's seeming to be getting and hitting a couple of nice shots here. And Chapman, obviously, shocker on train. He's forgotten about it. Yep. He's making his mark on Mirage at the moment. They want to take this round cleanly. They don't want Boot Dreamscape to be doing too much damage because Boot Dreamscape did manage to get the bomb plant down. And Archap, a bit of a struggle to get through the vent.
A little bit too big widthways. Needs to be on a treadmill. Running the some boxing maybe. That might be a good way to lose some weight there to get through Rat Hole. Make it a little bit easier for you. Regardless, 2 players going to be putting their presence in towards middle. And Subby, oh, that grenade's going to be so good. That's money. Oh, word. 90 damage done to Splashkey. And that's the only deagle on the side of Boot. Still, it is Splashkey, and we know exactly what this man is made of, so that makes things a little bit more interesting. A push that's going to be pinched on towards the A bomb side. I don't know whether they're still going to be able to do too much with it, but still, they find somewhat of a nice strat, do some damage to Archap, but at the end of the day, Bulbasaur and Impression. Oh, how does Impression win that, man? You just got glocked.
A single Glock, Lil. Not too bad. He's the Omen.
You gotta love it. Gotta love the respect.
I mean, buy round can come out from Boot Dreamscape, but I'd say they probably wouldn't like to risk it, even with the bomb plant they got in the pistol round, because they're lacking in utility. Tommy doesn't have head armor. That's a big thinking face for me at the moment. Aggression coming out from underpass, that's not a thinking face for me. I like how Frostfire trying to get aggressive, trying to dictate the pace. All they have to do, just keep silent. But Moxie, it seems like he's watching this angle to try to punish anyone. So there you have it. No, Moxie, he misses the shots, and Bulbasaur has to cancel from throwing the smoke grenade. And Chapman is still here, drops the smoke a little bit too late to try to deny the control. Splashkey's going to turn back forward and at least equalize it. But it's a very scrappy round, which allows Eamon to be pushing forward from A ramp and the rest of the CTs just to be shifting themselves around, trying to get their defenses back in order.
Very sneaky, beaky-like Tommy finding that kill. That should pretty much allow Boot to hit towards that B bomb site. They're still a bit unsure on what they want to do. They're just checking underpass, and this has allowed Eamon to come from behind. Oh, no. Oh, Impression's just turned around at the last second. That feels so bad. He swaps out for the AK, though, so it's not all bad in this story. However, Devi comes in with the big kill. Now he can hold down that jungle area. Will he swing onto these players? There we go. Another kill going his way, and the third as well. He basically just dusts the dirt off of his shoulder and says, 3K? No problem, my friend. batter up.
Another eco coming out from Boot Dreamscape. They have to be forcing out the pistols and Frostfire. Only Defy really with the big cash stack at the moment, considering he's the only player that hasn't gone down. Once again, I mean, Frostfire being able to resolve these 2-on-3 situations quite a lot of the time, and you just never really count them out. I like this mid boost coming out. Tommy still eats this grenade.
Grenade damage from Frostfire has been really nice. I think it's just more so the timing that they're getting on this. Aman should be able to tap away, finds the first, and this is just easy pickings in towards middle at the moment. He is judge, jury, and executioner. Finds himself 4. Chapel come in for the 5th. Denies the ace, but a clean round for Frostfire. That's exactly what they need. The economy's starting to set here. And this is where things start to get interesting for Boot. They are more than capable to buy into this round. But Frostfire, they have that safety net known as digits in their bank.
This is the first time that Frostfire's back in the lead ever since they were ahead by about 5-2 initially up on that T side. And Defy hasn't even whipped out the AWP yet, which is not the tech issue. Something's gone on at the moment. Chap's PC is playing up, so yeah, that's not a feels good moment as we're bleeding into the later hours of this match time so far. And this is a pretty bad moment, in all honesty, for a tech issue that happened in terms of the momentum for both sides. It might allow Boot Dreamscape to be talking about what they want to be doing on their T side. Actually, they can't talk as a tech pause.
Still gives them a moment to relax and reset. And it gives them a moment to think about what they might want to say when the tech pause inevitably parts ways. So regardless of whether it's a good or bad situation, the only thing that's for sure is we are heading into the final 10 rounds of this final map. And it is do or die for both of these teams. Boot, this should definitely be a series in which they should be taking, but Frostfire, my goodness, they're not making it easy.
Comparisons I can make here is Lucid Dream up against Signature for the EPL finals, because, I mean, just comparing how the match went, is that Signature had an opportunity to close it out 3-0. They lost a 1-4 clutch and let it bleed out from there. And on Nuke, Boot Dreamscape may regret letting it close out at the end. There were a lot of rounds where they just didn't have the same amount of discipline. They didn't come in with the same, I guess, amount of focus that we've been seeing on Mirage as well as on Train. And it might actually cost them at this stage.
It did seem like something of a lacking of confidence even from Boot. I mean, that was definitely not something that I expected coming into this. Into map number 1, that is. You know, you look at the way that they finished the first half, 10-5. They pick up the first 2 rounds on Nuke, and then.
But that's the fear of players such as Defy, who is able to get so many kills in Archchap. Frostfire's player style can be loose sometimes, and you saw in Nuke, it was just. Sometimes it was bizarre to watch. Like how they would play on the CT side was something that you'd never seen before as a T side. Right, so obviously we gave a lot of criticism for Boot Dreamscape, just going, why aren't they holding because the CTs are pushing? But the way that they're able to get the positions down is just absolutely ridiculous sometimes. They're stacking 3 in outers, they're making a huge gamble play that plays off. Boot Dreamscape make mistake after mistake, they get punished. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at the moment. Doesn't matter back then because Boot Dreamscape think, that's all right, we'll take Train, we'll let it go on Mirage. We've got enough time, we've got that huge 12-5 buffering space. We're only against pistols in 12-5. It's always a tale of one round which can really separate between a very easy 2-0 series into a drawn-out series at the moment.
Yeah, definitely I can feel that pain. It is, it's just the small moments in Counter-Strike. You know, we see it so often. It's just, like you're saying, one round that can change the whole moment of an entire series. We see it at the highest tier, we see it in MM. One round can tilt an entire team.
I don't think one round will tilt either team at the moment, to be honest.
I'm not talking about now, fam.
Don't know how Boot Dreamscape, they'll go, all right, we just got to be focusing on every single round. For Frostfire, they've already achieved more than I think most people would have given credit for. I mean, historically, Boot Dreamscape have been able to get the best of Frostfire. Frostfire have not looked like, I guess, contention for being even top inside the region. Best in Malaysia, sure. This is a team that has won their WSG qualifiers pretty handily. They proved themselves to be best in Malaysia. The names have been around there for a while. Obviously, our chap, he's been around the scene for a while. Devi's been touted as one of the talent that's really been just opening up things for the Malaysian region. Who knows? Maybe with this victory, it's like with the NASA victory we saw earlier today over Chiefs. They're one of their top 4 placings in such a premier tournament. They've earned it the hard way. And all Rob can be thinking about at this moment is going, my flight is in 5 hours.
Nah, fam. I'm in ESL studio right now, fam. I'm getting the cast with the king, Karath, before his announced retirement. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Karath, the man, the myth, the legend, has announced his retirement from casting.
I wouldn't even say myth. I wouldn't even say man. I wouldn't even say even king. I'd just probably say just an unknown scrub. And according to Twitch chat, who is this boring caster? Take him off. I'm not gonna disagree with him at this stage, to be honest. But at the same time, I'm paid to do what they're not. So
exactly. Proof's in the pudding.
I don't even know where we're going with this at the moment. The tech pause is really extended. I would analyze this game to death at this stage. If you just tuned in, well, there's about 3 things I want to say at this stage. Frostfire have been playing well above their expectations, obviously considering they're pushing Boot Dreamscape to the limit. Boot Dreamscape, they need to be picking up the firepower on a lot of their players because Splashkey has really been the only one, alongside with Impression, putting out that impact so far on that CT side. The T side really has been a struggle. They've not been able to get a single round on the buy rounds just yet. And thirdly, Word.
Word. Fair enough. I feel as though Word is an easy way to put it. But again, you know, the fact that Frostfire they've actually done an incredible job in this tournament. I think that, you know, it's a testament to see how far they could possibly go. There we go. So it is going to be all reset. And we are going to be coming back into it, but this is where we can lock and load. You know, like just touching on Frostfire. The reason why I can sit here and comfortably say that, you know, they've had a good tournament. 10-16 against MVP. That is not a bad result at all.
So they got 10 rounds against MVP?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not too bad, in all honesty, considering how MVP today came in just looking like they were just absolutely better and just demolishing. Boot Dreamscape really need to take a leaf out of this book, but I don't even know if this is going to work at this stage against Frostfire. Really has to be a solid B-side hold here. Boot Dreamscape, they're just going to be executing out with a full set of utility. How is Omen as well as Chapman going to go? They've got grenades to use. They need to use it wisely, as well as some firepower.
So just as this hit decides to come on in, the flashes are going to pour over the top to supplement the push. Impression hasn't spotted out Chapman, but somehow, hang on, did he just hit a flick of a lifetime? Boot have just all but stopped. They were waiting for Tommy to come in, and that might just be exactly what they needed, exactly what the doctor ordered. They're still taking this one slowly. After Impression just ramboed out, there was no support coming in for the remainder of Boot.
Look at this R-Chap. He's still here alive, but Tommy, he spots him out. Can't deny the bomb plant, and Splashkey's able to assist at BAMS. It was just a matter of down to timing. Boot Dreamscape, though, still looking the goods to close out in this round, unless Subby. He's got a full set of utility to use. If he takes down Tommy, he can drop this utility wisely. Smoke onto the bomb. Now it's going to be a deep interior grenade, but Tommy has actually spotted out his edge of the feet. Splashkey's going to drop down and try to get the knife out. Subby wisely dancing around, but that's not going to work against Tommy, who's just going to cover off a different angle.
Yeah, there was that small smoke that Subby let off. If it had have covered literally 2 pixels to the left, he might not have even been spotted running to the bomb there, and that could have changed things a little bit for him, but he does try to outplay both of those members. However, Tommy playing that one smartly, wraps around the back of Pillars to find both of the kills, so definitely nicely done. And with that, Frostfire actually get aggressive towards middle. So, you know, these are the kind of do-or-die rounds that we're getting to. Frostfire not on the greatest money, but nor too hard boot. So this, again, we see so many pivot rounds with these teams in Nuke and in Mirage. That small amount of utility, not small, actually large amount of utility expended towards that A site. It causes a lot of doubt into the minds of Frostfire.
They're committing, though. Look at this 5-man rotation. I mean, 4 people that are stacked around, ready to collapse on the A bomb site if the call is needed. You've only got a single person anchoring, that's going to be Chapman. He's only got a flashbang to try to hold off any potential B-side aggression. I mean, obviously, there's nothing there. Traps at top mid to try to cut off any lurkers, or even to go on a bit of a journey over to the A bomb site by himself. 1-for-1. Devi's got the AWP now, and that is absolutely important to be noting, because he is looking in great shape. Bomb plant's going to go down in the open. The score is going to be boiling down to the next 40 seconds, especially considering Omen is unable to deny the plan.
Very unfortunate in that situation, but still, this is going to be, oh, our chap caught out coming from behind. Tommy now going to be wrapping around a connector. That is surely going to be the insurance that B.O.O.T need, and that's the call made for Frostfire. They just have to cut their losses. They know that there's not too much that can be done in this round. They might be able to find a kill or two, but Tommy's just going to go hunting, and I absolutely love that. Instead of going to connector, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go for these kills. I know exactly what Frostfire are doing right now, and if we can shut this down, we might just find ourselves 12-10, 13-10 better. And with that kind of a buffer, that kind of a boost to your momentum, boy oh boy.
Boy, oh boy, indeed, because the CT side is so critical on getting that money up, getting the utility so you can actually play that late game, so you can play towards that mid game. Frostfire ran out of utility. B.O.O.T Dreamscape throw their second set, and there's nothing that they can answer with. They can rely maybe Devi getting a pick off here, maybe a bit more grenades being flying, a couple of grenades flying through, or maybe some gunshots through the smoke, but that's just not enough. B.O.O.T Dreamscape now looking to crunch hard onto the A-bomb site quickly, but Devi, he peeks up from stairs at the right time. Bobasaur still trying to commit out wide, trying to slide down the stairs, but there's actually Subby. He's picked himself up an AK-47, talking about scavenging up a big victory, but the flashbang coming in from his teammate. Oh, that is not the best flashbang coming in from Devi. Subby still goes 1-for-1 in that position, though. Trading a USP is always going to be favorable.
Definitely. Now they find themselves the man up, regardless of that flash coming on in. It was going to be a tough ask from Subby to find those kills as he swung wide, but still, this can be really devastating for B.O.O.T at this point, even if they can keep the economy honest.
Frostfire have all the map control at the moment. Iman's pushed in. He's completely cleared out B. He's going to go to mid. He's going to clear out mid, and it's all down to Devi right now, shutting things down with the AWP. You can see he's so concerned about connector. He just needs one more teammate covering it for him. Moxie's spotting out the gun barrel. They're smoking off connector. They're going to try and play around this, but there's still going to be one inside CT, which is going to be our chap. Trying to play an off angle. We've seen that before from Automatic, but our chap cannot make it work out, just like Automatic. And now Moxie close to the stairs, slowly closing out this round. Devi's just going to go and back off, save the AWP one more round. Unfortunately, Information Gala this time doesn't secure Frostfire any more additional kills, and we might have to see another tech pause coming out after this round. Looks like TeamSpeak is once again going to be playing up.
It looked so promising for Frostfire. They find that USP kill. Unfortunately, they can't get that flash to work from Devi, but immediately after that, you do see the rotation come in, and unfortunately for Frostfire, they get so much information, they get so much room to breathe, and they can't do anything with it. They know that the players are across towards... Oh, wow. 1 HP, man. Feels bad. So the tech pause, let's do, which is fine. We're just going to be getting back into the TeamSpeak issue again. Just touching that up, trying to fix any such problems. Now, the tables have turned slightly. B.O.O.T are now starting to gain a small amount of economy, and like we said with that one round, I believe it was in the 21st round, actually, where both teams were on that point. They were on the edge with their economy, and it tilted in favor of B.O.O.T. And now if B.O.O.T lock down this round as well, things are going to get really, really dicey for Frostfire. And this is going to be the full investment coming in. Ooh, that is interesting. A double AWP setup for Frostfire.
They need to start changing things around pretty quickly, and I don't mind seeing that double lock come out because Chapman can take control of the B-Apps or even take it into mid as well to try to wrestle this take from Boot Dreamscape.
Here we go, back into it finally. 3 tech pauses later, we're sorting things out, Kev. We're getting into it. It's good to see that the admins are working promptly. Just as though Boot are as well, but this angle is God's here.
It is God's here indeed, and Splashkey pushing in, misses a shot, and he gets punished by Archap. You haven't seen him miss too often, but these are the slow misses that Frostfire have done well to capitalize on. Some nice timed aggression, getting them some early picks. It is still a 5-on-3, but there's one in connector. Bobasaur going to be making his way back in to retrieve the package. Archap will check the corner in time.
They're just falling like flies right now, Boot. Unfortunately for them, they haven't been able to get any sort of momentum rolling in this round, and that's going to punish only slightly. Frostfire now holding the line. Chapman, he is given so much information. He's looking straight down the halls of B, heading across towards A. However, they will be met with the crosshairs of both Devi and Subby. Both players have been quite strong on that A side, but they're going to be called upon once more. Archap, sorry. He does spot the fact that there is no aggression towards B. All players converge over towards A. Bobasaur will be able to find at least one kill, but 20 seconds left. They still have to cross. It's the big Chapman, and he is giving them no room to breathe.
Look how much spacing Frostfire is just giving impression to be walking into a crossfire, and Archap, triple kill from in this round. That rifle impact, that connect after Splashkey's missed the shot. Boot Dreamscape, their money is all across the board at this stage. I mean, impression is pretty poor. Bobasaur is actually going straight for the AWP. He's dropping that over to Splashkey. Another chance. Another one. Definitely doable here from Boot Dreamscape, considering that the CT economy still isn't established, but the double AWP is still in the hands of Devi as well as Chapman.
So setting up with a bit of a default favouring across towards B. They're going to put the feelers out in towards mid as well. Tommy and Moxie just going to be holding the lines, waiting for maybe some aggression from Splashkey, which we've seen so often. Sorry, not from Splashkey. Getting my tongue twisted there. Chapman, rather. And now they make their way up short. This could be absolutely devastating for either team if they can make it work. Frostfire going to be holding the line ashore, but now they're going to pour on out over towards the B bomb side. That is absolutely massive. He catches the backside of one of the members crossing towards the door of Market, and it's left down into a 3-on-3. Aman does a lot of work there, but they're going to be called upon once again.
Oh, that is a pick and a half coming in from Devi as well. That's going to open up the market, but Splashkey, he's still able to land the flick. They know where the second CT is as well, and Devi is really the linchpin at the stage. I mean, there's no real way for him in at the moment. And Bobasaur, what a lurk through the smoke. A play coming out for Bobasaur at the right time. Iman has no chance. He's just going to have to back off and save. And that is actually 2 AWPs lost for the CT side, a full-on reset. Boot Dreamscape, they've reset the CT economy at a crucial time.
For either team, that was going to be devastating, but more so right now for Frostfire. They've put in their hearts and soul into this series, and you'd hate to see it slowly lose grip on it right towards the end.
They have to win this force buy as well. They don't have the AWP to make the impact. I feel like they have to throw an aggressive play in to try to catch Boot Dreamscape off guard, but the question is, what is going to be the right play? There's so many opportunities to try to strike, but they really, at the end of the day, only have one round to play with. Boot Dreamscape are just 3 rounds away from closing out this quarterfinals. Frostfire, they take this one, similarly, they'll be able to reset Boot Dreamscape, so it's not over for both sides just yet, not out of the woods. 4 people here in B-Apps, not much utility to try to get Chapman in here either.
Well, the thing with Chapman, we've seen it time and time again so far. The Deagle proves to be quite devastating, so they still need to tread with caution across towards this B bomb site, but with the support of Iman, Just lock that down and force them back away. So that's nicely done, but the problem is they're not getting any kind of information on this. There's no read, there's no aggression. So regardless of whether they're putting their attention towards A or B, they would not have the foggiest. Devi, however, with the UMP, he's close towards A main, just on the other side of the wall. And that's going to be the peak going in. The flash doesn't go far enough, and that is really bad for Frostfire right now. That is exactly what they do not need.
That might be the game changer. That might be the round coster and the game breaker. Now out come B.O.O.T, Dreamscape. The rest of the players on Frostfire have to step up, and Subby, he's been good so far in Mirage. A single kill with the M4. He's really got the rifle, the damage, and Archam, he drops the bomb, plants up, but Tommy's going to be lurking behind to make sure there's no further damage coming in from that connector area. Smokes are fading though. CT's trying to make a progressive play. You've got Chapman at the edge of the smoke, but he's been lurked around, found out, and Iman, he's going to be pushing forward. Time is dwindling away for the CTs and the Ts, but the bomb is out in the open, and it's all down to Subby right now in Ticket. They have to get the bomb plant down, but Tommy, he's spotted out the shoulder. He's got the kill, and B.O.O.T, Dreamscape, they've reset Frostfire. They're 2 rounds away from taking the quarterfinal and making their way into the semifinals. And the money, once again, I iterated before, it was a reset round for both sides. That reset button has been slammed hard.
Oh my word, that is monstrous from Tommy. That is a single-handed play to bring that back for B.O.O.T. It looked all but done. There was only 14 seconds left on the clock, and he shuts down the play towards jungle, and then they still get the bomb down. It is unbelievable. It's all on the back of Tommy being able to come on that flank through to connector, shutting the first player down. Unfortunately, they can't do anything about it, and he just continues to be the thorn in the side for Frostfire right now. Still 3 towards mid, and this could definitely indicate a bit of a pinch on towards the A site, 2 across towards A main. They look to be setting themselves up with some smokes. Generally, we'll be looking at a CT smoke. Surely they're just given the cover to get on out. Maybe a default smoke at that as well. Flash comes over the top, gives him a little bit of information, but Impression's already put the nail into the coffin. This surely has to be it. Finding himself 2 kills. It almost seemed effortless. One simple, measly flash thrown over the top to support a bit of a push coming in from both members on Frostfire. And that might have just sealed the deal.
Flashbang did manage to catch a CT pushing forward, and I think, as you're saying, it sealed the deal, but in the incorrect way, I guess, for the CT side. But they're just trying to make plays at the moment through the edge of the smokes. They're desperate, and you can see B.O.O.T, Dreamscape are preying on their desperation. They're being slowly picked apart, and now it's all down to Subby. Everyone is going to the A-bomb site. They know where Devi is, even dropping the smoke grenades to cover off the positions. He is trapped like a rat at this stage. Doesn't matter if Splashky's on 1 HP. It doesn't matter if Impression's on 49. There's only 2 people left alive.
Still, again, Frostfire, they need to either go for this or just save the armor that they have. They've already committed. You're going to have to go for this Devi. You're being wrapped from behind, or more so Impression might just wait deep. And they're just going to try and flush him out. Wait for this player to move, but he's got 2 HP. I don't think he's going to be able to survive this. Actually, it's planted on triple, so he should be fine for now, but has he moved to...
No, he hasn't moved far away, and B.O.O.T, Dreamscape at the end. They have 4 match points, series points to take over Frostfire, who have been looking good so far on Mirage and Nuke, but this might be it for the Malaysian team. It all comes down to this round, and it is not a favorable buy to be playing around with.
No. One last hurrah for Frostfire and all that they've got. 2 Famouses and 3 Deagles now to try and make anything work. They need a hero. They need a miracle. An Impression. He was looking to go a little bit faster, maybe to get some information, but the utility slows him down just ever so lightly. And now you can see, of course, the lines pouring on down. Hyman can't hit the first shot. Impression's now going to go swing wide, taking down the first towards back pillar. There's only one that remains on the B-bomb side. Chapman goes aggressive, but can't do enough damage to find a kill. Bulbasaur shuts Chap down. And Tommy, he does get caught out, so a free given the way of Frostfire. Too little, too late it is for the CT side.
And only 4 flashbangs left on the retake as well. Impression, he's just lurking around the edge of the marketplace, playing this crossfire and Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur, what an off angle he's playing as well on top of the boxes. You don't normally see this from the T side. The flashbangs are completely ineffective, and that is all down to Devi at the moment. And he certainly is going to be shut down from Boot Dreamscape. It is fitting. It is the heart of Singapore. Impression cleans it up, and they manage to take the victory. And that is it for tonight's stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's been quite long. Boot Dreamscape managed to make their way forward. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to catch the semi-finals and the finals to see who's going to be taking the Extremesland.